others, it can feel like they're calling the wrong plays. Not Cross Country Mortgage. They're the masterminds behind perfect play calling. Go with them and your home loan experience will end in a victory parade.
So if this were an election, this is what we would call a landslide.
Oh, it's bad right now. I feel bad for even more now, Sli.
Should we go through some of these, Greg?
Fun. Some of them are pretty bad.
This is 805 Raider. It says, unless Al really does have some secret stuff going on, he's losing street cred by ducking out on the bet. All right. Big E says 309 Sli was finally able to get out of the fetal position and send off a text with tears in his eyes.
Oh, no.
Christopher Holmes says, when faking sick like Sli, never give too many details. That's a dead giveaway that you're lying. I had an employee call in with a bloody belly button today.
That's can't be true.
Bloody
What did you get stabbed? I mean, what else?
I got shanked last night, boss.
Like, I understand that every once in a while you're like, oh wow, how did that get in there? But it's like a little lint, right? And you're like, that's not great. It's like, blood. Dude, go to the doctor. Go to the hospital. Call 911.
A lot of people are saying that he was fine on the post-game stream last night,
Yeah,
too.
that's interesting.
That was about 5 hours prior to his. It's not helping my thought that he's telling the truth.
This is from Ball Zach 0625.
Thank you for saying that slowly.
Yeah, no, I'm fully aware what Mr. Zach is trying to get me to say.
Mr. Zach, we get you, Mr. Zach.
Mr. Zach writes, can we just pile on today? Whenever he has to pay the piper, he pulls a Sli and kills the bit. He's earned his bad guy label. I don't know if he's a bad guy. I'm just saying that the timing.
I look at him differently, honestly. I thought of him as a man of conviction before this, and I don't know. I don't know,
the
Sli.
timing
I'm
is
disappointed.
not great. I'm with you, Taylor.
I got a question. Do you think that he's listening right now?
Not a chance.
Wondering what we're saying about him, whoever it happened to
Okay,
be. Maybe he didn't know that I was sitting in. Does he think that anybody?
Let me flip it on you.
Yes.
Let me flip it on you.
Yep.
If you were sick and or pretending to be sick, would you listen to the show that you were skipping?
So, no, I don't listen to... When I'm off, I try not to listen to my show because I know they're killing me. That's just... I just know that's what's happening.
But if you're sick, you're curled up in bed and vomiting or whatever it is you're doing.
Sure, but
and if you're not, that means you're going and doing whatever it is you were wanting to go do instead of go do the thing that you're paid to go do.
But if you're faking like you're saying, I think I would kind of just tune in a little bit and just say, hey, let's see what they're saying about me.
Just in the car. Just when you do something else.
I just want to hear. I'm on my way to the nice Malibu beaches.
Sli is in
for
bed
a nice hike.
wearing an Anthony Peeler jersey. I feel
like it's Elvin Campbell. Anthony Peeler is a little bit.
It depends on mood, right?
Yeah. Sure. It
like
could be a George Lynch.
It could be a George Lynch. Yeah. I'm going to need to see a doctor's note from Sliwa. That's from Michael Casper. There's the bloody belly button one. And one more. This is from David K., who writes, Sli looked completely fine on his broadcast. He's not sick. He is completely extending his vacation.
So that means he's not coming in tomorrow. Can we put odds on this, Emily?
Okay.
Like, what do you think?
He
tomorrow?
Can't come in tomorrow now.
He has to. He has to come in tomorrow.
He can't.
No, he
Please
has
just
to.
tell me as soon as you can, Sliwa. But I would highly think that a Thursday leads into a Friday, because then it's like, oh, I'm not feeling any better, guys. See ya in 2023.
But then how are you going to do the pre and post game and halftime of the Lakers?
Because the Sliwa special, guys.
That's the best.
We
need a
miraculously feeling better at nighttime.
I mean, that's what happened last Friday.
Yeah. Was he sick last Friday?
Look, here's the thing.
Yes, he was
that's
sick
right.
last
We're not making this up. There have been occasions where this show gets skipped, but Laker pre and post does not.
Well, I'm trying to believe him. I want to believe that he's sick. I like to believe that the best in people.
That
makes
one.
It's Christmas time, guys.
Yeah, it's Christmas time, time of giving and all that good stuff. I believe him, but if he did this last week and he does it again tomorrow, I might have to start changing.
Well, he can't dodge it forever. He's got to pay the piper eventually.
You know what happened this morning? Emily comes in.
Can I have that white chocolate jersey?
Emily comes in with a package, and it's very neatly wrapped. And one of our Trav and Sli community members, Darren, sent us a nice little package with little trinkets for all of us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was very nice. Gave Taylor a King's koozie.
Thanks,
he
Taylor.
gave Emily a very cool little keychain with a water polo ball, a bison, and Taylor Swift on it.
Yes.
And then I got, by the way, Darren, I know that you said mine wasn't nearly as fun. He gave me like throat spray. Like,
Well, you're complaining about your throat.
once, of a few months ago, I sent baseball cards or something fun. No, but thank you very much, Darren. And to
Thank
all
you.
of you that did not send us something, shame on you.
So Darren's in the
way-
lead for color of the year. Is
Yes,
that what
well,
we're
it's
saying? We will
gift
accept
giver
bribes.
of the year for sure.
Don't worry,
For
Sli.
sure.
I got you. I'm wearing your jersey for you to fill the bet.
You know what's funny?
Looks
That actually
great on
looks
you.
like you were wearing it on purpose.
Well,
You got
but
a
see-
black hoodie. You got the black jersey. You look good.
Well, yeah, but I'm wearing a Kings jersey. Don't say it looks good.
It
That's,
does.
You're
It
going
looks
too
good on
far
you.
with there. But
you
here's
should throw behind the back pass with while you have that thing on right
This is the only reason that I'm willing to wear this, because White Chocolate was amazing, and he changed the way that I played pickup basketball. So, like, trying to use using my elbow behind my back to try and get it to people, trying to be like him. So I'm okay with wearing the White Chocolate just for that.
So, Emily, you went to see Avatar yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I did.
You came
Amazing.
in and you were underwhelmed.
Yes, I was underwhelmed. Okay, so so I really liked the first one. So
So did I.
I want to say I was like 13. So I was 13 when the first one came out. So like peak tomboy era, really into like the superheroes, really into Avatar. Made it my personality for a little bit. And so then when, second one came out, I'm excited to see it, but I kind of had low expectations because I've recently rewatched the first one. I'm like, the first one's fine, but just like not a lot of there. It's just like, it's really pretty to look at. So for this movie, it's beautiful to look at. It's mesmerizing. You almost suspend reality because you believe that this could happen. The plot, absolutely terrible. It's the same thing that happened in the first movie. Would not say that there's a lot of emotional depth there, but I'd say if you're going to see it at all, see it in theaters. But if you don't see it in theaters, I think you can miss it.
So it's the same plot as the last one?
I mean, there's slightly different things that happen, but essentially it's...
So it's Dances with Wolves 2.
Yeah, Fern Gully, too.
But see, here's the thing. Like when you hit a home run with a movie, right? Avatar made, I don't know, billions
billion.
and
The
billions
most
of dollars,
money in
right?
the theater, yeah.
Why wouldn't Star Wars made the same movie 4 times?
Yeah, they did.
I
New
mean,
Hope was done
by the way,
multiple times.
I went and saw all 4 of them. You know what I mean? Like
And they
it's
look cool.
It's not a bad idea.
Why do you like that but not
for
on
this-
this other
for
stuff?
the same reason that she just said. I was 8 years old when Star Wars came out. I'm
Fair
like,
enough.
Yeah.
this is awesome. And
Cool,
once you're
great.
into it, it's like, yeah, I got it. I liked it when I was 8, so I like it now. And then when you see the new one, you're like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, no, they weren't
Kind
good.
of the same.
Most of them
it
were
was,
terrible.
It was all right, but you're in, so you got to keep being in.
But
Right.
so you're saying that 13 years was too long to wait up to make a second movie that wasn't good?
Maybe, but okay, it looks so cool. It's almost like you're watching like a big like art piece, all that stuff. But like, also, I got to add to this that I was on a gummy at this time, so it looked really, really, really cool to me. So gotta say it.
So
that adds
when
to
the
it.
first one came out, he remade 3D. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, 3D was the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
Right. So did he change the world of 3D all over again?
yeah, kind of.
He did?
It really was.
What more can you
I saw it
do?
in 2D.
I saw it in two. Okay, I'm not saying 3D. I guess he's redoing like the idea of like what you can do with CGI and how realistic you can make this stuff. So it's like it's saying that like big blockbusters don't have to look crappy. They don't have to look bad.
They should
And
have a plot,
can-
though.
Exactly. But that's also my issue with like Marvel. Sorry, Marvel stands.
There is
but-
there's a
I'm just
massive
gonna say,
plot that is going through a lot of those
I'm with
movies.
you.
Not this new generation, but yes.
I don't really care about the greater MCU. It doesn't do anything for
Couldn't
me.
agree more. Yes.
Sorry, Mickey
but
Mouse.
That's the whole the
They're
whole
amazing.
point
Stop it.
is look they're entertaining for a couple hours. I've seen some of them. I haven't seen all of them. Most of the ones I've seen are fine, but you don't walk out going, I didn't know what was going to happen next. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're going to win.
Who's going to win?
Of course they're going to win.
Not
And of
in
course-
Infinity War.
Well, spoiler. Let me take a wild guess that maybe we might see it again. That maybe one of
Well,
these
yeah, of
guys
course.
may come back. At some,
Of course.
But that's the point. That the movies that
a
I'm
comic
looking
book.
for is I just want to see something like, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen next. That's it.
Like
you're
Top
a
Gun.
you're a cynical
Like
guy.
Top Gun, yes.
You're a cynical
Top
guy.
Gun made me feel like I was 16
But
again.
you're also like plane goes boom, plane flies.
Right.
That's essentially the movie. That's
Right.
fine.
You want to see the good guy lose, essentially.
Sometimes.
You're a cynical guy that wants that.
I also want to see that
sometimes.
death matters.
Well, it's not going to happen though. Like, name me
does.
a wonderful movie where the good guy loses.
Luke Skywalker got his hand chopped off.
Yeah, but he won.
But not until the next movie.
Well,
and then he lost again.
He came back and he did it again.
Don't use logic against me, Greg. I really don't appreciate
One
that.
thing that's interesting about the movie, so it's essentially like 3 acts, but the third act, each act is an hour because the movie's incredibly long. The third act is essentially all of James Cameron's like best movies like put together. So it's Avatar combined with Titanic combined with like the Terminator.
There's a boat?
There is a boat actually,
It
and
sinks?
it sinks. And that's the entire third act.
See, that's
this
a
boat is
spoiler.
sinking. Okay. Sorry, there's a boat that sinks. It's a spoiler for Avatar.
It's been out a minute.
Yeah, no, it's been out
Literally
this
1 minute. That's how long it's been out.
You don't know what the boat is or who's on the boat.
That's fine.
blue guys?
All I know is that when I watch this movie,
The blue guys were on the boat.
The Na'vi.
I just know that I'm going to watch the
Are there
movie. I'm going to
violins
see
on the
some
boat?
people on a boat, and I'm going to know it's going to sink. That's all I know now.
They're blue, and now they can breathe underwater. That's the movie.
It's fine.
They actually can't breathe underwater.
I'll take your $23.95, please.
They can't breathe underwater?
No, they just learn how to control their breath really well.
So did they breathe underwater in the first
So
one?
it's a documentary on free diving?
Okay.
What are we talking about here?
Because James Cameron is a big deep sea diver. That's like why he wanted to do this movie for so long. But like, yeah, they just learn how to control their breath really well. And because so there's the Na'vi, which is who we met in the first movie.
The blue guys.
And that are like land and air creatures.
Land-based Navis.
Yes. And then there is a different tribe, same species, that have developed to live and work in the water. So that's their thing.
Greg, can you fill my... I got to go see it. I've just been riveted with the description.
As soon as I heard 3 hours and 15 minutes, I said, I'm out.
Is there an
I would be out
intermission
too.
or what?
There are certain things...
No
you hear-
intermission.
3 hours. I'm going to need a break. I'm going to need to go get a cup of coffee or a Coke or something to kind of reset my interest. You ruined Steve Garvey for me this morning.
Good.
You did.
That's
As
all
a
you're gonna think about
young
now.
man coming up in L.A., I was a huge Dodger fan, and Garvey was my favorite guy. Right? Loved Garvey. Didn't quite understand why other people didn't like Garvey. The documentary that 30 for 30 that they had on the Yankees and Dodgers kind of shine some light on why Steve Garvey was not the most popular guy in his own clubhouse.
He was kind of a weird dude.
Then Fernando showed up, and I was a Fernando guy. And then Garvey went to the Padres, so I'm on board with Fernando from that point forward. But when
Fernando mania.
when you said, "Oh, Steve Garvey," you mean like the 1970s Russell Wilson? Like, oh my gosh, that is. I don't know if you could have said a crueler thing to me at this point. You just ruined the 70s.
But it's so true.
I know.
It's
That's
exactly
why it sucks.
right. Like if he would have said like he has Wolverine blood, I would have believed that it was something that Steve Garvey said in the 70s. Russell Wilson said it, and you realize that Wolverine blood is real. Wolverines don't actually regenerate like the
animals.
Marvel character.
Wolverine is he a Marvel? He's on the other. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's in
Marvel,
the
X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
like
pay
if he
that close
walked out of a
attention.
building and practiced his high fives, I would believe that that's something that Steve Garvey did, just like Russell Wilson.
Look, can you?
Let's ride.
My favorite thing is to ruin things for other people. I can't have you ruin things for me. That's a
this is what makes it fun.
Hey, you know that guy that you loved when you were 8? Yeah, Russell Wilson. Oh,
You heard the glass breaking in your head, like, oh, now that's all I'm ever going to think of.
So today is his 74th birthday, and I
Happy
follow
birthday.
this Twitter account. You may follow. It's called Dodger Cards.
I do not
and
have that
it's
one.
just all old Dodger baseball cards.
that's
and every
cool.
day,
I'll follow
every
that
day
right now.
there's a birthday. They post a bunch of old Dodger baseball cards when they're playing, right? And so Garvey got a bunch today, and I'm looking at him like, oh, and then you go back and look at him through the prism of he was the 1970s Russell Wilson, like, oh my gosh! Oh, there's this big smile, this little
So
little
fake.
twinkle in his eye, like, hey, what's going on over there? It's just absolutely
all of his
ruined it
teammates
for me.
absolutely loved him, just like all of his Denver teammates and Seattle teammates
He and
loved
Don
Russell
Sutton
Wilson.
tried to kill each other in the locker room. That was the plot of the 30 for 30.
And everybody loved Don Sutton.
Yeah, Don Sutton was
Yep.
Don Sutton was. I don't want to say sneaky good because he was in the Hall of Fame, so that's a stupid thing to say. But go back if you want to dork out like Greg and I do on Baseball
All the
Reference
time.
sometimes. Go look at Don Sutton's Baseball Reference
It's
page. You'll be like,
incredible.
wait, he was what? He was amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Dodgers have not done amazing things this offseason. They are being really quiet. So what exactly is the plan? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Sli. Berg is in for Sli on 710 ESPN.
Football fans want to win $100 for picking 5 games against the spread? Just download the Cover 5 app for free. Compete with Travis and Sliwa each week for a chance to win $100. Here's what you got to do. Download the Cover 5 app. Use code TS22 to join our show league and start having fun all season long. Again, just download the Cover 5 app. Use code TS22 to join the Travis and Sliwa Show League. Pick 5 games against the spread to win $100, or play all season long at cover5.com.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPN LA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Sli right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPN LA app.
Download the new ESPN LA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPN LA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPN LA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPN LA app.
You are just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Sli, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
Sliwa, your Thursday, a special edition this hour. Corporate Greg, sitting in for Sli.
Corporate Greg.
Who has not showed up. Obviously not wanting to take his medicine and have to wear producer Taylor's Kings jersey. Come on, Sli. Travis and Sliwa with Corporate Greg continues right now.
So because you have multiple jobs, you have to host this show today.
Yep.
You have to produce Mason
Correct.
and Ireland. You're trying to get some sort of technical thing set up in here this morning. I don't really care about that because it's not my problem.
No. And what's in it for Trav is very much real right now.
Running around trying to get some things done, and Emily stepped out of the studio for a second. So I said to Taylor during the break, I said, "Hey, we're cool, right? Like we're not hitting Al too hard." He goes, "No."
He wants to hit him harder. Go ahead. Hey, can we give Taylor like a minute? And just go hard after it.
As much as you'd like, Taylor.
Go
If
ahead.
you want 10 seconds, take 10 seconds.
Whatever you
want 10 minutes, take 10 minutes.
I can simplify it. In the words of Alan Sliwa, coward.
Hey, look, I'm wearing it for him.
That's simple.
I got him.
That's not enough.
I know.
Because I know you're a Lakers fan, but
I'm massive.
Sli is top tier Lakers fan, and
he said
it's disappointing.
I love
something yesterday that really didn't land like the way it should have landed with me. And I was driving home, and it's like sometimes you'll hear something and you kind of turn it over in your subconscious, and then later on you're like, wait, did I what? So yesterday he said, that's the first time I'd ever worn a jersey that wasn't a Laker jersey. Like, who cares?
I mean, you haven't worn anything?
I get it. I would react the same way to wearing a Lakers jersey. Luckily, I won't have to do it this year. But I would still come in and fulfill my end of the bet, So I agree to something, I got to do it.
You're wearing a Nick Van Exel jersey for an entire day.
Yeah.
When the Lakers win next time.
They might.
If that happens, then I will agree to do that.
Yeah,
I will be here. I won't be sick.
So you pay your bets is all you're trying to say, which is a good thing. But
I expect others to do the same.
People on the YouTube are getting mad at me for wearing this, but I'm trying to just help Sli out. I want to believe him, and also it's white chocolate, so it's totally fine.
It's not so bad. Brian Kamenetsky is here as well. Hello, BK. How are you?
I'm good.
You're
what
good?
Are we doing?
We're making fun of Sli. We're trying to figure out whether or not he's actually sick today.
No.
So there's another
straight off. You don't even know the context. You don't know the background. You just know the answer is no.
Thursday before Christmas. He's not sick.
I knew. I see.
Does he show up
BK and I
tomorrow?
were like, you know.
He's supposed to work tomorrow. Are you
He was
available
supposed.
tomorrow?
Stop saying that. He was supposed to work today. He goes. He's on the schedule.
But he
tomorrow.
was sick
He was
today.
supposed to be.
A year's worth of crosstalks with Mason, and he's like, you know what?
Sli after dark.
I'm keeping 10 to 1 open.
Yeah, please do keep it open tomorrow, just in case. Emily, you hear that BK is available?
Flu.
I was getting ready to present my case to the jury as to why I don't think he is.
Not sick.
I did.
Straightforward.
BK's the guy on the jury. He did it. I
just-
can
you
just
know,
tell by looking at
the
his face.
The legend of Sliwa.
I know, Sli.
He, because like this is the equity of these bills. It's actually quite clever. He spent 9 years working in the back rooms from 1 o'clock till 4 in the morning, doing shows that nobody ever listened to, just to practice and hone the craft. And so everybody now looks at him. He's like, "Oh, there's Sliwa. He's so hard working. He'd never take days off whenever the hell he wants now."
Not from Laker games.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. He's going to have to work the Laker game tomorrow. I mean, you should write his memoir with what you were just saying there. That would have been perfect.
I've ghost written before.
Taylor has given us a moniker for when you skip your talk show to do pre and post. It's a Sli special.
I can't tell you the amount of times I really, back in the day when Andy and I got the lean years. I mean, Sliwa walks into a title. But Andy and I were like, let's.
You had the
I
Nick Young
did a year
years.
with you guys, and it was dreadful.
Right. Let's talk about, remember, we got excited because they came up with all those lineups that had everybody with the name of a color. It's like, it's the Vanderblue, Tarek Black. We're doing whole post games about that because that's all we got. They're winning 17 games a season and then wondering why we're not more positive. But well,
it's a pre and post game. You have to be positive. That's the whole.
You can
point
try.
Hey, last night
try.
They only lost by 30 last night. It wasn't that bad.
I thought the last night was fine. It's like, what'd you expect?
Well, I don't know. You may or may not know this. So, when did
Probably
the Kings?
not.
When did the Kings and Lakers play? Not before last night, a month or so ago.
That was
I'd
one
say
of the
a month
crushing
ago.
losses where they blew that game. At the
So
end.
they lost to the Kings. Al and Taylor have a standing bet that each time the Kings and the Lakers play each other, the loser of that game will have to wear the winner of that game's jersey.
Oh, so that's why he's not here.
So, hence why Greg has the Kings
I'm
jersey
trying
on.
to help out Sliwa, but it's not working. Nobody's accepting.
No, you're
my-
not. It's not atoning for his sins.
I'm trying to atone.
When the Kings won the first game, Al put on a Tyreek Evans jersey for one segment and then had to take like a Silkwood shower afterwards. It was
signed though. It had a signature, which I'm crazy that you got
and I
Tyreek
said
Evans'
to him,
signature.
I said you have to
Valuable.
leave it on for the day. That's the bet is you leave it on. No, I can't. I can't do it. I'm like but you have to.
He's worried about he's going to walk outside and his people are going to be angry with him?
I don't know. This is the whole point.
Well, the Lakers might be angry at him during the pregame show.
I don't know.
LeBron's gonna say, "How dare you? How dare you wear that Kings jersey?"
Would be
I was
amazing.
listening.
Like
Travis
all
Sli.
day. Like if he has to wear it, like that means you throw on your suit and tie with your Kings jersey on.
Right.
It.
I mean, we're on YouTube. You can watch us right now on YouTube.com/ESPNLA. But so he was on YouTube that day. So maybe it was just like, oh, I can't be seen.
I
wearing
think
it.
more,
Isn't that the whole point? To
yes,
be
that's the whole
seen
point of a
wearing
bet.
right, more than is Alan sick or not? I think the real question here is Alan Sliwa an honorable man? And the answer is obviously no.
Did you hear what Taylor called him?
A coward.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean,
America is
now-
made weaker
by his
by
Alan
people
Sliwa?
like Alan
God,
Sliwa.
we're going hard.
Yeah,
I got your back, Sli.
well,
Got your
hold on.
jersey,
let me
got
add it
your
up.
spot.
That makes one.
Fine. I'll be on Sli Island.
You are on Sli Island for
Slyland.
Sly. Yeah, that's hard to say.
That is hard to say.
That is a tough one.
It was a
to
nice
say.
try, though.
No, I mean, I did it.
Got another.
Apparently not that hard.
I got another tweet for you, Berg. This is
Yeah.
from James. It says, "True story. A friend and I were at a Dodger game in a suite, and he happened to come in. He, in this situation, is Steve Garvey, Brian.
Oh.
Let's just say he pretty much asked us if we wanted to take a picture.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
There is a subset of celebrities where they're mortified if you are not impressed by their celebrity. I don't know if Garvey's one of those guys or not. it tracks. But
sure seems like
you think he walked into the suite, he was waving his hand like, hey, guys, it's me.
Guys, the line starts right
Garvey.
over here. 8x10s are $1. Pictures are $2.
My friend.
No, I don't think he pays. I don't think you have to pay for it.
I don't either.
I don't think you have to pay for
But
it.
I
He's
feel
just
like
giving
that's-
it. He's handing them to people as he's walking around Dodger Stadium.
I have a really good friend who is a movie and sci-fi nerd, like geeked out with
Adam
all these,
Bronstein.
Another friend, two friends. And so one day he's at working at I think it was at a video store, and Shatner walked in. William Shatner walked in.
Captain Kirk.
Yes. But he was being kind of a jerk.
Well, that tracks too.
It does. And so my friend, because he was like, gets to the point where he's trying to rent something, or maybe he was unkind.
By the way,
and he didn't rewind. I don't know, but he was something, and he was being such a. So he's like, you know who I am, and my friend again, who has posters.
Please tell me he said he's Leonard
of
Nimoy.
Shatner. He just like I don't know who you are. I don't know. He's like, I'm William Shatner. I was like,
Cool.
and he's like, I don't.
Do you
know
have a
who that
membership,
is.
Mr. Shatner?
Right. I don't
I need
know
to see
who
your
that is.
I need to see your blockbuster.
He's got Star Trek posters with his face on it at home, but he was being such a jerk. He's like, I would like to do that to Garvey.
Happy 74th to Steve Garvey. This is why we're on the Steve Garvey angle.
Right, and I said that Steve Garvey is like the 1970s Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
nobody likes him.
Yeah, and in particularly his teammates do not like him. But I wouldn't say no one. I would say people that know him don't like him.
With the risk of taking, by the way, coming in the middle of segments is tremendous fun.
You just get to jump in.
I might do that for the rest of the show. Leave, wait 3 minutes, and just come in, because this is great. I love this.
Better than not showing up at all.
Sliwa.
He's going to be here tomorrow, and then he's going to do the Laker game afterwards. I fully believe it.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe. We'll see.
You guys don't have to believe it. I believe in you, Sli. Don't prove me wrong.
Yeah. So, but Garvey is from an era that I find strange, because the 70s and the 80s were, because Steve Garvey was a sex symbol.
Yes.
That to me is strange.
He had the forearms, Brian.
But Elliot Gould was a sex symbol.
That one never really added up to me, but
go back and look at bands. What kind of band could be successful in the 70s, 80s, and before videos were Rush, for example, the ugliest bunch of people you'll ever meet.
But for the time.
But and everybody's Steve Perry was a man
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
People wanted to sleep with.
Well,
He's
if you're in a band,
little man,
famous band, you're gonna
no,
win.
but they thought he was objectively hot.
Much like you're on Sliwa Island, I'm
Yes.
going to plant my flag on Garvey Island here for a second. Garvey is objectively handsome. He was not that. He was at the best player.
That's true. Back in the day,
He was the best player on arguably one of the two most popular teams at a time when that was the most popular sport in the country. So,
he's very handsome.
And then when he's walking around with his Popeye arms and hey, check this out. I get it. I get
and
why.
It's just the forearms.
And look, obviously it was successful. He got plenty of
I mean,
attention.
are forearms not again? Just be ready on the button. Are forearms foot size?
I don't know that. All I know is he seemed to have opportunities,
and I'm sure he took full advantage of those opportunities.
That's what Google is for. You can go find that stuff out for yourself. That's
You're saying he's Wilt Chamberlain light.
I just realized something. You had no idea who we were talking about until 5 minutes ago, did you?
I knew the name.
Yeah, but you'd never seen his face before.
No,
he's handsome, right?
Yes, he's very handsome.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
Emily, don't you dare Getty Lee Steve Garvey. I'm not here for that sort of slander. Hey, did you see? Coming up next, it's Trav and Sli, 710. Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPN LA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPN LA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPN LA app.
You're just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Sli, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
Favorite gift giver here in the office is John Ireland because he's rich and he gives you money.
Really easy. John Ireland. He gives you money and he gives you a decent amount of it.
Emily, she gives the best gifts. She's thoughtful and gives it consideration. It's not quick and easy. She's a good gift giver.
Clinton Yates. He gives amazing gifts.
Raj just got, last year a guy got me some bourbon, so I think Travis kind of knows what to get.
I think Mason, he and I have a lot of similar interests. I'll just leave it at that.
Greg Bergman.
John Ireland is the guy. He's got the dough. He's got the gated community. I think I'd get the best gift from him.
I would like to get something from Chris Morales.
Definitely Scott Kaplan because he gives you gifts from his friends' companies and then asks you to post about it on social media.
Scott Kaplan, because it'll have cited written all over it, or going to be some bad material robe kind of thing he gave us last year, whatever it was.
Don't even finish the question. Sliwa.
Bird, because he doesn't stock his fridge very well, so I don't think he'd be that good at giving gifts.
I think Taylor probably is not going to care that much, so I'm going to go Taylor on that one. I'll go Taylor.
Sorry, Emily, but you probably just trying to give me a Spotify account. I don't want that.
Steve Mason.
Alan Sliwa, no question. Alan Sliwa, don't want a gift from him. I don't think he's got good taste. He's got a Pixel phone. I mean, come on.
How about you behind the phone there, behind the camera?
And it is Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Sli, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it, I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see? Did you happen to see? It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this? Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
So Taylor's coming in hot today. I'm interested to see what Hey Did You See have, because he just came out coward.
Right. I mean,
Right.
hey, did you see Sliwa? No.
Coward.
Yeah, that might be the whole segment today. What do you have for us, Taylor?
Okay. Did you guys see that the average American household spends 10% of their annual income on fast food? So what fast food place is grossly overrated? Greg.
Grossly overrated. Oh, this is actually really easy. Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is not a good tasting anything.
Emily, stand down.
Coward.
Chick-fil-A, every time I go to Chick-fil-A, I have one of their burgers, or I have something.
There's no burgers.
Yeah. They're not burgers. Chicken sandwich,
burger.
whatever you want to call it. It's a chicken burger.
You're ordering the wrong thing.
It's a chicken burger, whatever you want to call it. Chicken sandwich, whatever you want. It's chicken with bun.
Greg, we didn't invent the names of things.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is a chicken
I
sandwich.
would
It is a
like
chicken
to
sandwich.
enjoy one of your chicken burgers, please. I'm new here.
You get a chicken sandwich, and it always does not taste good. Even the fries are good.
The waffle
I'll take
cuts.
the waffle cut, which is very good.
milkshakes.
But everything about it, even the chicken nuggets are not
I'm gonna
good.
stick
Chicken,
up
whatever
for
you want to
Greg
call
here.
them.
I'm going to stick up for
Thank
Greg
you.
here in
They're
one
not good.
sense. It's not that Chick-fil-A isn't good. It's that it's overrated.
Yes.
Especially when you compare the core chicken sandwich to other chicken sandwich options that are now available to you. The Popeyes chicken sandwich, for example.
That's good.
Even the
Too big.
KFC chicken sandwich.
Haven't
Too
had the
big.
pleasure.
Not too big.
Yes, they're both too big.
Whoever complained about that, though?
Right.
Emily.
Please stop giving me all of
big.
this food.
But it's
And Chick-fil-A
it's
is
just like,
very expensive.
Guys,
Too expensive for what it is.
She's going to have an aneurysm if she can't get this out. So just, Emily, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just saying, Chick-fil-A quality is amazing. Speed is the best thing. Speed.
Customer service, too.
Customer service
Speed.
is lovely.
It's a fast food joint.
Oh, but that
but
doesn't
it's
mean it goes
so
fast.
much faster than everywhere else.
McDonald's goes
no matter
fast.
how no matter how busy it is, you're going to be in and out, as opposed to some other places that I believe are overrated, but I'm not going to talk about them because it might get me in trouble.
No, but like what? Which ones? Because some people like, Arby's is overrated.
Never been.
It's not good.
Arby's is properly rated.
It's properly rated. Certain
rated
things
as not
are good, certain things are not. But like, so what else do you think is overrated?
So here, the answer for me would be, and I'll eat it occasionally. I'm not a regular consumer of it, but it's always out of circumstance, not choice, is Taco Bell. Taco Bell, it's fine, but it's because it's bean, it's meat, it's cheese, it's
properly rated.
That's what it is, but it's just one of those, you never say, oh, you know what I need to go get? It's had 13 beers, and before I call this a night, I'm going to need to hit a couple of Burrito Supremes. That's the only point.
See, I'll go to Del Taco first before I go to Taco Bell.
Del Taco is it's done with intent.
Yes.
Like, hey, you know what? Del Taco.
But they're both impulse. They're both impulse purchases. Like you're driving down, Washington or Venice or whatever, and you see it, and you're like, no, I'm getting a taco. Like I'm not hungry. It's not meal time. But it's like the 17-year-old
just get a taco. Then they have the crinkle cut fries.
No, that's right.
They got the things that you have to get.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I went with my boys and we did a fry tour around all the fast
That's a
food.
great idea.
Del Taco fries,
delicious,
number one.
wildly underrated.
They're number one.
They're really good.
They are the best.
Emily, do you have an underrated one?
Underrated?
Safe space here. You're all right.
Yeah, right.
Overrated. Overrated. I would say that it would be Starbucks, if you consider it. I think that Starbucks out of convenience. Yeah. I think their food is below average.
Their burgers, though.
Their food is below average, and their coffee is serviceable. I think I would prefer to go to any other coffee chain. Like I like Dunkin' Donuts. I'll go there. Ellie's great, but it's only a matter of convenience.
Don't sleep on a
Starbucks.
Pete's, by the way.
Pete's not bad.
Pizza's
not
good.
bad. Yeah,
Pizza's a good one. Taylor, do you have one?
I think Taco Bell.
See, me and Ireland are really close on a lot of things, but now that we're both going at Sli today, I think like Taylor and I are we're marching together.
Who overrates Taco Bell though? That isn't 16.
But people just
maybe that's the problem.
I spent a lot of time with Taco Bell at 16,
and so did I.
Yeah,
I have that demographic is in my home. Maybe I'm just
I'll take 26
maybe it's how much advertising
tacos,
I see for it too.
It could be that.
Oh well, no fast food company makes their food seem more appealing on television than Taco Bell. Like you turn off a Taco Bell commercial, you have to fight every urge to go.
I kind of want to go get Taco Bell
right now.
Not going
like
to.
An easy mark.
Well, no, I'm not going to. But it sounds good.
It's like, oh, holy bleep, that looks good.
What's next, Taylor?
Okay, next up, and sorry, I prepared these before I knew Sli was playing hooky, so nothing to do with him. Did you see that there was a video circulating that shows a parent dressed up as the Grinch, and he breaks into his own house to steal his kids' Christmas presents. So in the video, one of those two boys actually attacks him, and he's repeatedly punching him, just to, defend his family's honor and save his Christmas presents. So as a kid, what would your reaction to a realistic Grinch breaking into your house be?
I think I'd freeze and panic and run into my parents' room, and there's a man in a green suit in my living room. I would always assume that the end of the world is near.
Well,
that if there's somebody in your house that's not supposed to be there.
This kid's fight or flight response, though, was impressive.
That absolutely.
Totally.
Mine would have been the flight portion of fight or flight.
We're Jewish, so I would have wondered what he was doing there.
But you would have seen the movie. You have seen the Grinch. You would know what the Grinch was. And at that age,
and
you're like 5,
and it has
right?
nothing to do with Hanukkah. The word isn't uttered in that book. So I would be wondering why he was there.
Well, I understand at the same time, but he can still steal your presents.
No, he should. But there's no.
He could abduct you.
Yeah,
that's what I'd be
like.
I'd be wondering, is the Grinch here to steal other things from our house? Like
he's gonna steal your hat.
Because it's not like there wasn't like a central place where the presents were all tucked under. I mean, we could take the menorah and a random dreidel that might have been floating around, or some gelt.
The blue and white.
But
lights.
At that point, he's not there to steal Christmas. He's just.
He's
home
just an
invader.
Intruder.
He's there to take the jewels and the valuables.
So is it fight or flight
taking
for
the
you?
TV and the silver.
It's not a Christmas fable at this point.
Before we continue, John of Huntington Beach of Fullerton says that Greg Bergman saying the burger from Chick-fil-A was so Alan Sliwa.
Well, I'm trying to embrace my inner
Sli.
Sli. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm wearing his jersey for him. Yeah.
Not listening.
Yeah,
Well done.
but either way, I think I'd be with you. I would probably fly away because
Mom!
Mom,
do you
there's
have
a green
anything
dude in
beige?
here. I'm out of there. Gone.
Maybe I'd offer to make him a sandwich or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't like that.
No, nobody would. One more?
One more. Did you see that only 8% of people experience sleep paralysis at some point in their life? Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis or sleepwalking or something similar? Let's go with...
Sorry, I have, and
Emily.
I'm going to answer starting first. I've had sometimes where I've sleep paralysis. We're stuck in your bed and you see a demon above you. Essentially, I've had that happen to me twice. Like this is kind of a very common thing.
That was just the Grinch breaking into your house.
It's also called a dream.
No, it's not a dream because, well, kind of, but you're stuck and you're trying to tell yourself to wake up and to move, and it's a common thing that happens where it's just feel like someone's sitting in your chest.
You're
That
aware
happens.
you're in your room.
Yes, and I'm also you're aware you're in your room, and I have sleptwalked before, and I sleptwalked at a sleepover when I was a kid, and I ended up waking up in my friend's bedroom where I didn't end up going to bed in her bedroom. I ended up going to bed on the floor or whatever, but could have been someone that just moved me too.
How much Ambien did you have that night?
I didn't have an Ambien. I had taken a sleeping pill, so probably different sleeping pill.
I've only had one thing in the middle of the night that I was unaware I was doing. It was in college. It was in my freshman year, and I believe the statute of limitations is expired. So I left my room and went somewhere that I should not have gone, and it was not bad. And I was in someone else's room, the adjoining room with the two other guys that they wanted to know what I was doing in there. And I still to this day can't answer the question. I don't know, but I was in there. That's the only time I've ever done it.
As a kid, I used to sleepwalk a lot.
Really?
Yeah, my son sleepwalks and sleep talks. Has
sleep talk is
incredibly
freaky.
long conversations. He does most of his processing at night, and it's
Do you have conversations with him while he's talking?
No, I try to talk him back down. Okay, yes. You do the same things you do when they're awake. You just sort of agree with them, affirm their feelings, and try. But he sleepwalks too. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Nothing has ever happened to me. I've always just slept through the night. I can't think of any time where I got up and sleptwalked or.
You should take more drugs and drink more.
Oh, there was plenty. Don't worry about that. So I don't remember any of the stuff that
Maybe you've
happened.
done it.
That's very possible.
You don't recall at all. Are you going to stick around? Or are you going to tap out? Or what are you going to do?
I think I'm going to go for a little bit, but I'll come back.
All right. You're going to pull the BK.
I have
and
to
come
figure
in
out what's going
mid-segment?
on with this board.
It's super fun. You should do it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Do you want to switch spots?
I will. Yeah.
And also, I got to take this jersey off. It's kind of freaking me out now.
He's turning into Sli.
Well, I'm leaving now.
He's ordering burgers at
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, and he's freaking out over the jersey. Brian Kamenetsky is here. It's Trav and Sli, 710 ESPN.
just kidding. Travis and Sliwa with Brian Kamenetsky continues right now.
Steve Garvey is much better looking than any of the members of Rush that you're listening to right now. I feel strongly about that. Garvey's
although I don't know, I don't remember what the bass player looked like. I mean,
I don't either. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't remember what any of them look like, other than
Geddy Lee looks exactly like you think Geddy Lee looks like.
Longer hair,
long hair,
like
tiny face.
That's not a good feature.
He's one of those tiny-headed people.
Do you have a list?
He sounds like his voice.
One of those tiny-headed people feels like you've cultivated and curated a list of
I don't trust
members.
Tiny-headed people.
That is your bias is tiny heads.
I am anti-tiny head. I mean, there are many handsome Canadians. He's just not one of them.
Yeah, you're not disparaging the entire nation of Canada.
Nation of Canada has many attractive people in it.
Sure.
None of them are Geddy Lee.
How you been, PK? We haven't done a show together in a very long time.
It's been a while.
It's been years, quite frankly.
No.
Yes.
It hasn't.
No, because I've done a bunch with Andy. I haven't done one with you in a long time.
No, it has been years, but
Are you sure?
It's been maybe a year, but not years.
We should have Sli call out more often.
I agree.
I really want to believe him. I just don't.
No,
you know,
I don't at all.
I just don't. If it were any one of the extenuating circumstances, it's a coincidence.
But
it's all of them together.
Yeah, and it's the only thing that makes me think is like, are we still at what does he do? Honestly, what is Alan Sliwa playing hooky from work, calling in?
Okay.
Sick.
But see, now you've gotten into this is the part where it goes from fun to frustrating for me because I've tried to figure out what goes on, and we've been, Emily, how long have we been doing the show? Nearly a couple of years, right?
Yeah, like almost 2, yeah.
I have no idea. Because if I say, so how'd you spend your day? I just had some stuff to do. Yeah, like what? Did you see the Lakers last night? Anthony Davis looks pretty good. It's like, wait, no, and you try to, it's fruitless.
How do we know he's not like an assassin?
Well, that's one of the theories. Is that he disappears to go on
kill someone,
missions,
right?
Assignments,
people who deserve it, probably.
Well, only the bad people, right? But yeah, this is I don't know. So he could be sitting at home staring at the wall. He could be out.
Yeah, today he's legitimately in pain. There's a carousel of emotions going through his head.
Jersey. It is the holiday season, so everybody's kind of would like to just kind of chill at home with friends and family.
Sure.
I mean, this is when you do it, right? Plus, he's got a week off coming up next week. So everybody, when you got that vacation and you just got to get to the finish line, sometimes you get a little, why don't we just pull the ripcord right now? And all of these things together add up to a very specious illness.
I don't buy it. I don't buy the whole thing. The whole Sliwa experience.
None of it?
Not buying any
his
of it.
existence? Do you think he's a hologram?
No, I mean, he literally exists. I'm just saying I'm not buying what he's selling. The whole thing is a front.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it's a front.
See, we can talk a little bit, and Taylor, feel free to chime in with your light the beam chants and everything you got. I want to talk about the Lakers with you for a second because, and this is quasi serious. Anthony Davis's injury basically ended the season, right? Because you don't know what move to make now. You don't know whether to try to, hey, let's wait till he gets back and then we can add pieces. They were bad before he went off. He did go off. They were actually kind of good, dare I say, and fun. And now he's gone again, and now nobody knows what to do.
It was so frustrating because they were just good enough.
Yeah.
Because you have to set aside 2-10. 2-10 is over. You can't undo it. You can't fix it.
They've been pretty good.
And then they were like, hey, they beat Denver. That was with AD on the sidelines, and they beat Milwaukee, and they should have beaten Philadelphia, and they don't blow that game against Indiana.
They should have beat the Celtics.
They should have beat the Celtics, and it's like they kind of can play with anyone.
Yeah,
but they're also 5 games under 500. And again, before AD got hurt, and nobody thinks he's getting through the remaining 57 games without hurting himself.
I don't know if I spoke this into existence. I didn't, because like you're saying, everybody that's a Laker fan was thinking the same thing, but we were talking about it when he was just tearing through the league for that, whatever it was, 4 or 5 week period. We were having a conversation about when do you just kind of accept that he's back? And I'm like, at the end of the year. Like, if we can get through the whole year where he's doing this, sure, I will believe that he is fully healthy and he's back, and now we can move forward. And then a day or two later, he gets hurt against Denver.
You know, I mean, people in LA, it doesn't rain here, but you walk around with an umbrella because the shoes dropping are going to hit you. And like, this is the problem. And to completely ruin the season for Laker fans everywhere, what makes you think it's going to be different next year?
That's the whole point. That's like, the entire point. That's what's so scary about what might happen next. Because if they move things to try to be better this year, or, hey, the piece that will help us
if you can just tread
year,
water a little bit and then we'll go into next year, it's like, what's different
And the
year?
whole concept of, well, LeBron's in year 21. AD's still coming off another season where he missed a bunch of time because of injuries. You still don't have any of the peripheral players that you need to be really good. And, oh, by the way, we just moved the few remaining assets that we have to go from 13th to 8th. Okay. Why is that going to get any better next year or the year after that? This is why what just happened is not just bad for now, it's bad for that, and then that, and then that.
Andy and I were talking about this on the podcast, which is available every day.
Everywhere you can
Wherever
find podcasts.
you can find your podcast,
Yes.
the Locked On Lakers podcast. You can make an argument that the Lakers they don't trust the AD LeBron Foundation, which is why they don't want to spend the equity to try to improve it and all that. And that is certainly a valid perspective. I also think that Pelinka is just waiting for something magical to appear that basically undoes all the damage, that fixes all of it. He's waiting for some magic.
What would that look like? Are you literally talking like ethereal, otherworldly?
Close to it. I mean, like basically that, some superstar, something is going to become available to them where if they just wait long enough, it's Will Smith in I Am Legend. I can fix this. It's like he can't, and he can't, because like they are at the part of Argo where they're standing in front of the desk and they're just like, this is the best bad option that we have.
Right.
Like all they have are bad options. You wait.
I still think they should have tried the bikes through the mountains in the winter.
By the way, if you have not seen that movie, you are missing out. And if you haven't seen that scene,
it's great.
You're really missing out. It's one of the best movies of the last decade or so.
That's terrific.
They have, if you wait on this season and go into the off season, a little more flexibility to try to make trades, to try to sign people, whatever it might be, and you keep your picks. Okay, great. But you've now punted again on a LeBron AD season. It's not.
Isn't it time to punt on that? I mean, because you can, to your point, you can keep waiting for the thing that has not happened to happen. I have this argument with my wife all the time. I can't believe she said that to me. She said it to you every day for the last 30 years. Mm. Of course she said it today. Of course she did. Why is today the day that it wasn't going to happen?
My mom kept waiting for my grandmother to be nice to her.
Same
Never
idea.
happened.
So this idea, well, if this, and this, okay, but that's probably not going to happen. So why don't we start the process on the next thing, which is, who knows? And the part that's never really worked for me, and this idea that, well, you have to put a star player, you have to put a competitive product. The Laker fans are about as loyal of a group of people as exist. They are Laker fans. They will ride with you even if you are bad for a period of time or you're in the process of trying to rebuild something for a period of time. Nobody likes it, but it's not like they're the Chargers where whatever little base you have is going to run away because you have it. Trust your fans. If you give them a blueprint that makes sense and that you say, look, we're doing this, that's going to lead us to this, that's going to lead us to this, ultimately back to being the Lakers. All right, let's see what happens.
They want competence. And the problem is now they're projecting none of that. And I think Rob Pelinka put together a championship roster 2 years ago. They lucked into it to some degree, but everyone does. And has completely dismantled it to this point. And when the biggest drawback to the Westbrook trade, aside from what when they made it, like
right.
why what is that it was a 2-year deal with no parachute. There is no exit ramp from Russell Westbrook because you have traded away your pay. It is still staggering to me that to take Russell Westbrook from the Wizards when literally nobody else in the league wanted to do that, the Lakers gave up a pick. Like, they gave them a pick as opposed to getting one to take that contract on. They gave them all that stuff and a pick to do that. So you gave the pick, you gave Kuzma, you gave up KCP. The middle class of this team is gutted. You put yourself in a position where the only way you can improve your team is through veterans minimum contracts, and I think we've seen over the last couple of years what that does for you.
Not much.
And a mid-level. And obviously you missed on Kendrick Nunn. I thought that was a good signing. Hasn't worked out. And Lonnie Walker is doing okay, but if he plays well for the Lakers, he can go play somewhere else because they can actually pay him. The Lakers can't. There's no roadmap here that makes people feel like, okay, if we suffer through this now, it will get better.
People are willing to take on a little bit of suffering if there's reward, if there's something that's waiting for you at the end. And I'm with you. The plan, I don't know what it is. No one's ever been able to explain clearly to me what it is. Unicorns and thunderbolts.
They're apparently interested in Bradley Beal.
That would be the most Lakery thing to do, and
in
also
the worst
a
way.
colossally
In the worst
terrible
way.
idea.
Bradley Beal makes $742 million a year through the year 2068.
And I'd like to throw one other thing on there and has been on 0 good teams.
Right, and is hurt all the time. So in that sense, he fits right in.
I like guys that are on good teams. I like guys that the reason they're on good teams is because they're on the team. Like, hey, they're pretty good. Why are they good? Because he's really, really good. Hey, you know who's great on a bad team? Not interested. Not interested. Because if he were that good, especially in basketball, if I got one really good player and 1 or 2 decent guys, we're going to be average at least.
Yes.
And they have not been that.
No, and where the Lakers have really failed is in the decent guys.
Yeah.
They've got Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
Sure.
And, like, look at last night's game. Look at Sacramento. Kevin Huerter would be the 3rd best player on the Lakers. Harrison Barnes would probably be the 3rd best player on the Lakers. De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, obviously those are their foundational stars. But go through the rest of the roster. They have competent players. You know, Keegan Murray would be the 3rd best player on the Lakers. And, like, if you did a draft, let's say you set aside LeBron and AD, they go first, you're probably taking 6 Kings before you take another Laker.
That's a great way to look at it. This is how I like it. Sli is getting his audition tape ready to play the president in Commander in Chimp.
And of course, in classic Sli fashion, he doesn't even understand. The president is the chimp. So he can't have that role.
I have lots of questions. I have notes on Commander and Chimp. We will get inside the script.
Do you think he's doing like an Andy Serkis kind of thing where we CGI the chimp and it's Sli with a bunch of ping pong balls all over him?
I have lots of questions. We'll do it next. Commander and Chimp, the breakdown coming up next. It's Trav and Sli, 710 ESPN. Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPN LA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPN LA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPN LA app.
You are just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Sli, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
Favorite gift giver here in the office is John Ireland because he's rich and he gives you money.
It's really easy. John Ireland. He gives you money and he gives you a decent amount of it.
Emily, she gives the best gifts. She's thoughtful and gives it consideration. It's not quick and easy. She's a good gift giver.
Clinton Yates. He gives amazing gifts.
Raj just got, last year a guy got me some bourbon, so I think Travis kind of knows what to get.
I think Mason. He and I have a lot of similar interests. I'll just leave it at that.
Greg Bergman. John Ireland is the guy. He's got the dough. He's got the gated community. I think I'd get the best gift from him.
I would like to get something from Chris Morales.
Definitely Definitely Scott Kaplan, because he gives you gifts from his friends' companies and then asks you to post about it on social media.
Scott Kaplan, because it'll have cited written all over it, or going to be some bad material robe kind of thing he gave us last year, whatever it was.
Don't even finish the question. Sliwa.
Bird, because he doesn't stock his fridge very well, so I don't think he'd be that good at giving gifts.
I think Taylor probably is not going to care that much, so I'm going to go Taylor on that one. I'll go Taylor.
Sorry, Emily, but you're probably just trying to give me a Spotify account. I don't want that.
Steve Mason.
Alan Sliwa, no question. Alan Sliwa, don't want a gift from him. I don't think he's got good taste. He's got a Pixel phone. I mean, come on.
How about you behind the phone there, behind the camera?
It is Travis and Sli with your Thursday. Brian Kamenetsky sitting in for Sli, who's sick. Big Thursday tonight on 710. Coming up at 7 p.m. after Shinato and Cap, we've got Rams All Access. JB Long, DeMarco Farr, getting ready for Christmas Day against the Broncos. Then it is Bet LA with Anita Marks. All your fantasy, all your gaming action. Anita's got you covered thanks to our friends at Teza Energy. So that is tonight, your Thursday night right here on 710. Right now, more of Travis and Sli with your Thursday.
I had an interesting night last night, Brian, where it was my wife's birthday yesterday, and we went to dinner with
classy.
Yes, took the three children and Bobby's girlfriend Sarah. She comes with us on a lot of these things. We had a nice night. 6 of us at a local establishment having a really nice night. Susan was having a good time. We were all having a good time. The service was dreadful.
Oh man.
Okay, dreadful, and not in a rude way. Just in nothing came out quickly. Half of it was wrong, and it was slow as could be, right, and just awful.
The food is terrible, and in such small portions.
The food was okay, but the process of what should have taken an hour and 15 minutes took close to 2. Okay, it was really, really slow. And the kids, my 17-year-old and my 19-year-old were climbing like this. They were getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And I was in a very unique position and I don't know if this has ever happened to me before until I say, I didn't care. I was out. had a martini, we had a bottle of wine on the table. It was what, and I've never in my life been kind of enjoying to see, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like, how can this get up? That's how it could be. That drink is wrong. That sandwich didn't come with the au jus that it was supposed to have.
I would imagine there was a period in your life where
you might want to
each one of the things.
Mic drop.
What the hell's going on here?
I don't know.
People need to pay some bills. Where each one of those things would have driven you insane.
It would have bothered me.
Yeah.
It would have bothered me. And after you got past like a thing or two, like we sit down and perfect example, we sit down and Michael goes, I think I'm going to get the burger. And like we'd literally just been handed the menus. And I'm like looking at him, he goes, yeah. And he holds the menu. There's like cheese smeared on the menu.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, all right, so this is going to be an interesting start to the night. And then the waitress actually is a woman. She doesn't come by a solid 10 minutes, which is a long time to just be sitting there doing nothing.
Not even like a, hey, I'll be right with you.
Just gone. Doesn't exist. And so finally she comes by, we order drinks. Another 8 or 9 minutes come by before the drinks show up. I have to basically grab her by the apron and say, hold on, come back here. We'd like to order some appetizers because now I'm aware that this is going to be how it's going to be. We do it, and now it just each thing was more ridiculous than the next. And I didn't care where, to your point, Michael saying to me, are you going to say something? I'm like, no, I'm kind of digging this. I'm kind of enjoying to see how this is going to go because, it's
3 children, mostly grown. Like you've done a lot of your work. Let's observe humanity for a little while.
Exactly.
I'm tired of being in
weird,
charge.
Or do you kind of get where I'm coming from?
I totally get where you're coming from.
You're a fan of indifference.
It was, but I wasn't indifferent. I was actively interested in
Fascinating.
seeing what was happening.
Right.
They were indifferent about
How bad it could take you.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
what I'm saying.
what it was.
Because there are moments in life where if the service were 32% better, it would have ruined that experience and you would have been frustrated.
Yes.
It was that it was so bad, it was cartoonish.
And I tipped generously. I did. I'm like, whatever. I don't know if I just in a good mood because it was Susan's birthday. We were everyone was dressed nicely. It was nice. I had a good time. And it was a genuinely awful experience from the moment we sat down till the time we left. I've never had that before.
Now, that doesn't work in sports, though, because, like, you could argue the Lakers been a little cartoonish for the last couple of years. And, like, you don't reach that point where it's like, look, we're playing a G League team on the floor tonight. Let's just watch and see what happens.
But they haven't been bad enough. They've been bad, but they have. For instance,
how much bad do you
the
need?
Detroit Lions, Cleveland Browns going 0-16. Yeah, let's see if they lose tonight. They're not that. They're not historically bad. They're just not very good.
Let's see how the Raiders
and
lose
boring.
this week and what
The Raiders
what
are
terrible
fun
fashion
bad.
they lose.
The Raiders are super fun bad.
Because they're supposed to be better and are owned by a man with a terrible haircut.
And they just losing they had the worst luck possible.
Although last week did seem to flip that a little bit.
They got a little bit of payback.
They're playing my Steelers this week, and they're going to lose.
I'm going to have to insist that you refer to Mark Davis's haircut as the He-Man haircut because there is no other way to describe said haircut.
Now, he's doing, at this point, that's a bit. He's doing that on purpose, right?
Oh, okay, let's dig into this because I didn't know.
I only ask because I'm sure you've thought about it. Travis, for people who don't know, is a deep thinker about the hair of people connected to sports. Andy and I get texts from Travis frequently talking about the stupid hair.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stupid haircuts
professional
out there.
athletes. Almost all of them are in the Ball family.
I think. Well, they're not great. I think you're telling me something about how you're going to play based on what you got going. I think the Raiders and the way that they are managed is pretty apparent in the He-Man haircut. I think he's telling you he's not letting you he's not tricking you. If he walked in there with a George Clooney haircut and you had this doesn't make any sense. You get the He-Man haircut with the Raiders yeah. I mean,
and if you're his friend, how do you break that to him anyway?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mark, there's always something I wanted to ask you.
Known you 20 years.
Yeah, have you ever thought of
wow, that is right up. That is. Oh my God, that's
not
a really
having
hard
that
question.
haircut.
It's like
do you
Trav's
have an
wig
intervention?
scenario,
Right. Oh, yeah, you weren't here for that. I asked them what they would do because I have thinning, receding hair.
This is true.
If I just showed up one day with a piece, didn't say anything.
I'm not going to shame him for that.
I didn't say, hey, guys, I'm coming in tomorrow, and I'm trying something new. I didn't come in and go, like, look at this. Just dead straight. Just didn't say a word, sat down to the show, but I have a piece on, like a crazy piece, like I look like Ken Burns, like Taylor said. I've got all the hair all of a sudden. What do you do?
I would.
Because you guys know me. You know that's not my deal.
Where did you get that?
Call Emily. Beg to be sitting in for someone and fillet you for 3 hours.
But what if I was sincere? What do you mean?
I don't care.
I think I look good.
I would tell you otherwise.
So
I will say, Andy, his daughter, who's a really good artist, she's in 6th grade, and she's a fantastic artist. She drew their holiday card this year, and she gave Andy like a robust head of hair.
Okay,
and he doesn't have
which he
that.
does not have.
Right. And I texted him about that. He's like, "Oh yeah," she says it's harder to draw bald people. So I was like, "Okay, that's fair."
Send her my
but
way.
That's a little different.
When she's done with the Kamenetsky family, send her over to the Rogers residence.
I mean, I'll show you at the break, but I mean, it is a head of hair that he hasn't had in ages. But no, I would make fun of you incessantly.
I'm assuming a piece is expensive, right? Like I don't want like a joke piece. I want a real one. I want one that I've spent money on.
Well, I mean, they say if you have a good one, like people don't know, unless you're going from 0 to 60 like in a day.
What am I supposed to buy a set of pieces where it's just slowly
over time, we just don't understand what has happened.
And then you got to get ones that are too long so you can back it off, so people think you're getting haircuts. You got a haircut? Matter of fact, I did. This is my December 23rd piece.
He's like a doll. You just wind the arm a little bit, and the hair goes back into your head.
All right, we should stop. Much like Commander and Chimp, these are good ideas that we should keep for ourselves as opposed to just giving them away for free.
If you're losing your hair and you're young, like I lost mine. I started going in high school.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's got to be rough.
It was suboptimal.
Yes, as they say.
So Andy, had great hair, and people always thought I was the older brother, and now of course I've aged into.
Yes.
Look, I look at pictures of myself.
How long have you been shaving your head?
Oh, since I was in my 20s, basically. Okay. A little bit shorter, but like, with a razor blade, probably 20 years, and then shaving it in one form or another since I was in my 20s. But like, I've kind of caught up to my look.
You grew into your look.
I looked 50 when I was 20. And now I'm pushing 50, and people don't. You
probably get this a lot. You haven't changed a bit.
Yes.
You get that a lot.
I had one.
I do not.
Yeah. I had one. I was at a work thing a few weeks ago. And
you're doing all right over there? You're having a lot of equipment issues. You're breaking the mic. You're dropping your headphones.
I don't know what this is, but these are like air traffic controller headphones. I don't know what they are.
965 out of O'Hare.
I mentioned that I had 3 kids, and somebody looked at me and said, "You don't look old enough to have 3 kids."
Thank you.
Bless you.
I don't get that one either.
No.
You only 3? How many grandchildren?
That's what I was thinking. And how many great-grandchildren?
Oh, it's not great. It's not great. Factor Cap coming up next. It's Trav and Sli, 710 ESPN. Before hitting the highways this holiday season, head into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change, and make sure that your sleigh is in its peak performance. For over 30 years, Valvoline has provided quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people just like you. Oil changes, tire rotations, transmission care, and more. Just pull up, drive in, and drive out in about 15 minutes. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change, and happy holidays.
What color is Rudolph's nose?
Come on, Keith.
It's red.
It's red.
There you go. Who did Michael Jackson see kissing Santa Claus?
His mother. No, mommy.
Mommy.
I saw mommy.
Mother,
but I said mother, mommy. Same thing.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. Mommy, mother, kissing Santa
it's
Claus.
mommy. It's not mother.
Well, it's the same thing.
How do you say Merry Christmas in Spanish?
Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, that's right. Feliz Navidad. I knew that in elementary school. What am I thinking?
You worked with producer Jorge for years. He
Yeah,
taught you.
true.
He taught you.
Name Santa's reindeers. Oh boy.
Oh God, yeah. So you got Rudolph, Pixar or somebody like that? Blixen.
Donner?
No, not the Donner.
No?
No. No. Blixer or Fixer or something.
We got Rudolph.
Fixer. Man, I don't remember.
Finish the lyrics. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know.
My Christmas. No, my Mariah Carey.
Yeah, but finish the lyrics.
All I want
for you Christmas is you. Yeah, Mariah. I knew it was Mariah.
Good job, Keeks.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and thanks for tuning in each and every single morning on 710 ESPN.
That's cap. That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, typically I would be doing some sort of Christmas-themed Factor Cap, but I spent the last part of the show trying to do a lying-themed Factor Cap. So
why? What made you think
How's
of that?
your holiday going, Emily?
It's going great. It's going amazing.
Is there something in your daily professional life that maybe made you think that someone was being less than forthcoming?
Sometimes around the time of year, people just bend the truth, maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
So, I want to play this one piece of sound, and it's one of my favorite pop culture moments ever. It's from the Ellen DeGeneres show, and it's Ellen DeGeneres interviewing Dakota Johnson. Do you guys know who Dakota Johnson is?
She's 50 Shades of Grey, right?
Yes, yeah. I figured you guys would know her from that. And so she's
Don Johnson's daughter.
What are you
I implying?
By the way, what are you implying
It's
when
up-
you
it's
say,
up
"Oh,
to-
I figured
it's
you'd
up to
know
your
him from 50 Shades of Grey"? Like,
to your
we're
interpretation.
grown-ups. We don't need to like watch the blurry pornography
Through the
on
squiggle line.
Right. I mean,
But- yeah, anyway, so she was on there. It's around Christmas time, and Ellen asks her about getting invited to her birthday party. I'm going to play it.
You turned 30.
I did.
And how was the party? I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited. Last time I was on the show, last year, you gave me a bunch of about not inviting you, but I didn't even know you wanted to be invited.
Well, who
'Cause I
doesn't
didn't
want to
even
be
know
invited to a party?
Yeah, so Ellen got called out on her own show, and it aired. It didn't get cut. It's amazing. So this is the perfect way to call someone out in a lie from Dakota Johnson. Travis, Factor Cap.
Well, okay. So in this specific instance, knowing what we know now about the person that got zapped, it's perfect because turns out not a super nice person, right? So busting her chops in that way is a great way to do it publicly, put them on the defensive, put them on their heels, and make them It's a great way to do it. If it's just a person who's trying to make a joke and walked into a trap inadvertently, then you got to give them a little bit of an escape hatch. But I like that she did that to her.
Yes, and in fact, because it's also TV, it's
Right.
like you're trying to make entertaining television. But like my wife just had to remind me, a friend of ours, his wife was on Below Deck. It was one of the people that was in the
that
party.
boat show?
The boat show.
Okay.
That was in the party that was on the boat. And she was texting me about it, and I couldn't figure out why. And she was like, and I couldn't remember her name. And then I did, and she was like, you were at their wedding. And I was like, no, I wasn't. She's like, yes, you were. And she told me all of these truths. She didn't even go, and she knew all. I forget stuff all the time. So people will make mistakes. But in this particular case, it's fun television.
Taylor?
Fact, yeah, I love this too. I think a lot of times you go on a TV show like this, and the host expects you to kind of kiss their feet and stuff, and she wasn't having that. She wasn't going for anything.
That was kind of the beginning of the unveiling of all of that. True, right?
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, to your point, you expect you go on somebody's show and they expect you to kiss their feet when they get a hairpiece that wasn't there yesterday, and you're just not supposed to say anything about it.
Travis.
Real quick, just somebody out there that's listening to today knows the price points on pieces. I need you to hit me on Twitter or call us 877-710-ESPN, because now I kind of want to do it. Now I want to do it just to see the look on your face. Go ahead, Ev.
This is one of the more famous sports lies out there. So you believe Sammy Sosa couldn't speak English to Congress. Brian, fact or cap?
That he could or could not?
That he could not speak English to Congress.
That is cap. Absolutely could speak English to Congress. Enough English to get through those questions at the very least.
So I'll tell a quick story kind of related to this. I was covering the All-Star game, the Major League Baseball All-Star game in Philadelphia, I think it was, and I was working for Rome at the time, and one of my responsibilities on the show was to go get people to come on the show. We were set up in the player hotel in the lobby, so presumably these guys, and they were all over the place, and was able to get a lot of different guys and do all these things. We had a great show, and I see Pudge Rodriguez sitting on one of the chairs in the lobby reading the newspaper or whatever it was, and I go over to him and said, "Hey, Mr. Rodriguez, my name is Travis Rogers. I produce the Jim Rome Show. I was wondering, we're set up right over there. If you might have 5 minutes to come and talk about the All-Star game." And he looks at me and he says, "No, I can't do that. I don't speak English." And I said, okay, great." He goes, "Yeah, have a good day." That's how you do that. That is how you do. That's how you don't speak English.
I mean, Slava Medvedenko famously couldn't speak. Understood all of it, knew all of it. I mean, I don't blame anybody for pulling this card so they don't have to talk to the media,
sure,
or Congress. But no, I mean, Sammy speaks and comprehends.
Yes.
And English. He's fine.
Yes.
Taylor?
Fact. So, I was 7, I guess, when McGuire and Sosa were going back and forth. And that's what got me into baseball. But for the life of me, I couldn't tell you what what his voice sounds like. I've never heard him speak. So I think the general population might believe this. But
yeah.
But the problem is he'd been speaking in English while he was hitting his 66 home runs. They'd interview him after every game. He's like, "Yeah, I got a fastball over the outside of the outer half, and I decided to poke it into right field, and it was a great day."
If English was my second language, I would not want to go before Congress.
If it was
like if you were providing legal testimony, then maybe you'd like it in your native tongue.
I understand it, but he went from very serviceable to fresh off the boat, instantly.
Overnight.
Did they offer an interpreter? Or
I'm sure they could have made that available.
I think his attorney offered. We will not be answering those questions.
Plead the fifth.
What's Spanish for "I'm not here to talk about the past"?
All right. So you have ever been caught in a bad lie? Taylor, fact or cap?
Oh man. Yeah, fact. I'm trying to think of what a good one off the top of my head. I think I was throwing rocks at a window one time, just when I was a little kid, and I lied about it to my dad, and he caught me. He busted me.
Trav?
Not so much as an adult. Like Taylor's talking about, I got caught doing stupid things like all little kids do. Remember the little Star Wars action figures, right? The little bit, or 3 or 4 inches tall or whatever.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I was probably 11 or 12. I thought it would be a very good idea to go into the backyard and burn them all, one by one, with a can of lighter fluid and matches. And
just a little psychopathic.
As children do.
Right. And so, and all of a sudden this acrid black smoke is everywhere. And were you lighting those off? No. Well, there's a giant pile of melted plastic right here, and your hands smell like lighter fluid. I think you did do it. Yeah, I guess I did do it. But no, nothing
I'm sorry, I don't speak English.
Had I known that were an option, I may have executed it.
I don't think I don't think I have. As an adult,
liar, huh?
I don't lie much. Partially because I am so forgetful that I can't keep track of the things that I would have said.
Well, that's the old line, right? That tell the truth because it's the easiest thing to remember.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't have an affair.
Why, would you forget her name?
No, just the logistics of it. I'd be done. I'd be caught in minutes. Because it's too much to juggle, like the details. I text people the wrong person. Oh, you've been on the end of that, where I'm texting something completely different.
From first-hand experience. I'll get a text from BK. I'm like, I don't even know what
that's
this
not.
means.
That's not. And I'll be like, sorry, Trav. I mean, I'd be texting the side piece, and when I'm thinking I'm texting my wife, and vice versa. And I can't. I'm too irresponsible to have two phones. I'd leave the one lying around. It's like I just can't do it.
It's a lot of work.
It's tremendous work.
It's a lot of work.
I think one of the more embarrassing times that I think I've been caught in a lie was this was when I was in Connecticut.
You called in sick
2 days before you're about to take a vacation.
Yeah.
This is when I was living in West Hartford when I was working at ESPN in Connecticut. And I was, dating around. And I had gone on a date with a guy and then didn't go well, but he kept on wanting to go on another date. I'm like, I don't know. I went on a date with someone else. And I told the guy who wanted to go on a date that I was busy that night. I had something else to do, whatever.
Another date.
Right. Those
exactly.
You did have something else
to
do.
I think I said something like I had to work or I did something else.
Wash your hair? Why was that
busy.
an excuse in the 70s? I have to wash my hair.
People had very long hair.
Yeah, but then I ended up going to a restaurant with the other date, and the other guy happened to sit at the table next to us.
Oh.
So that was really fun to be kind of
should have invited him over. Pull
You
up a chair.
See, I'll give you a break on that because you were trying to be nice. You were just what you should have been like is I don't like you, and just been straight and pull that Band-Aid off. But you were just trying to be nice, and it didn't work out.
I was trying to keep all my options open.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, different but understandable. Right. You like to. Nobody likes to have the same thing every day.
So you actually didn't mind this guy. I thought you didn't really like him, but you just wanted to keep that out there in case?
Yes.
He's good looking, and he is great at hugs.
Keep him in the next booth.
We'll fill you in later. We'll fill you in later. DeMarco Farr, not in studio today, but he's going to join us next to see if Rams, I can't believe I'm saying this, can get win number 5 on Christmas. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Sli, 710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPN LA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Sli right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPN LA app.
Download the new ESPN LA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
ESPN.
All right, so the Rams have another standalone national television audience game coming up on Sunday, Christmas Day, against the Denver Broncos, along with myself and Kirk Morrison, JB Long, and, of course, Maurice Jones-Drew, and DeMarco Farr will be there for all the action. He is a Super Bowl champ. How you feeling today, DeMarco?
A lot warmer than I was Monday night.
Yeah, let's start right there. How bad was it? You and I were talking a lot about it leading into it. I was told it started to snow right after the game ended. Was it as bad as it looked on TV?
It was ridiculous. I'm serious. No place on the planet should be that cold. Or at least I felt cold. But then I'm looking in the stands, and there's Packer fans taking off their clothes. It's like Bizarro World. So it was weird, but to me, it was freezing. My toes froze. My hands froze. Those little jet heaters on the sidelines were like coveted space. You were fighting, jockeying for position. It was cold.
I would have delivered all of my sideline reports from there. I would have been telling everybody, here's what's happening in the heater. Joining me at the heater right now is special teams standout, this guy. And I just done all my work from there.
That's pretty much what the roster's been, this guy. No, I mean, but I thought of that, BK, but the only thing was they could hear it. So if I'm standing next to the heater, you could hear it, and JB and Maurice would call me out for it.
So? It's cold. They're in a booth.
I had backed myself into a corner talking this toughness thing. Like, I'm tough enough to be outside. You guys have to have the windows closed.
Could you play in cold?
I could not do a broadcast next to the heater.
I think you could have. Could you play in cold, or were you one of those guys who didn't like that either?
Man, I didn't like cold. We were talking about this during the broadcast when Maurice said tackling would be hard because it's cold. Tackling was never the issue. I mean, that's you track somebody down, you put a shoulder into them, and you drop them. It's getting off the blocks that are hard. Anything you have to do with your hands. Imagine like sticking your hand in a freezer for like 5 minutes. Or more than that, and then having to like try to build a shelf right after with nails and hammer. Think about that. That would hurt, right? And your hands aren't coordinated. So that's the sucky part of playing in cold weather. I hated it.
DeMarco Farr joining us. DeMarco, I forget how we got onto it, but somehow, some way, we started having like a matchmaking thing where we were going to have. Oh, I know what it was. Mason said that he wanted to kick Sedano's ass on our show yesterday, and so
like really?
Well,
like fight or just...
no fight? Yes, that they would square off and have a fight.
3 o'clock high.
The question was an Ask Sli to Mason. That was if you had to fight somebody, who would it be? And he chose Sedano. And then the next thing you know, everybody's putting potential bouts together. For I think weight division purposes, you and I were put in the same division. I would just like to make it very clear that I would not like to fight you. that of all the people here,
we go tag team. We turn on everybody else.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely,
I like that.
Yeah.
So is there anybody that is in our universe here that you say, you know what, I don't know about that guy? Is there any, because you're a professional athlete, you're a big man, you are skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Is there anybody like, you know what, I'd really rather not?
Emily.
Why, DeMarco?
You know why? Because she's so nice. She's so nice. So when somebody's that nice, there's just an evil side somewhere. That may hit you with a brick when you're not looking.
It's my water polo side.
That's right. She'll bring out her water polo moves on you and drown you in the deep end of the pool.
Like you talk, football is hard. Water polo is impossible.
Well, it's a fist fight in the pool.
Right, while you're swimming. And if you lose, you drown and die. Like, how many teammates a year died, Emily?
No one died.
Like 4 or 5?
There are people that had hard time breathing at certain points in times, but no one dies.
Well, that means you die. I tried that water polo kick for conditioning. That's hard, man. When you're trying to tread water without your hands and you got to do whatever that is, Emily, in a circular motion, that is hard.
Yeah, no egg beater. I want real eggs, and I don't want to do the egg beater. That's what we're doing.
I'm excited. The next studio station thing is pickleball and not like the group water polo game.
So let me ask you this, DeMarco. Cam Akers said that they're heading into these last 3 games. They're going to try to ruin people's season. That they're going to treat it like it's a championship. I get the sentiment. I get what he's trying to say. But when you're 4-10 and you got 3 games left and you can see the finish line, what is going through guys' heads as you get to a point of the season where obviously you're eliminated from the playoffs? It's not what anybody was hoping for. How do you get to the finish line?
Well, the pressure's off. I can tell you that. So you can really just go back to enjoying playing football. You have 3 games to play in the National Football League. When I was walking out of Green Bay, I mean, you just lost. It's depressing. It's cold, and you got to think about a long flight back to Los Angeles. I was right behind Michael Hoyt, who has come along as an outside linebacker. But here's a guy who just loves to be in the National Football League. Clearly, he wants to win. Everybody wants to win a ring, become a champion, and all that stuff, or repeat for him. But he's got a tattoo on his arm that says NFL. This is what you dreamed about, man. I mean, no one dreams about losing or having a 4-10 record, but you dream about playing at this level. So you've got 3 left, and they always tell you, there is no tomorrow in the National Football League. There may not be a next year for you, so you got to play every snap like it's your last. So for guys like Cam Akers, Michael Hoyt, guys that are getting extended runs right now, you're excited to play. You're excited to play because you have a chance to make more money, or you have a chance to stay in the league for another year. It's hard to get there. It's even harder to stay in the National Football League because you're always being evaluated. So for a lot of guys, just the thrill of playing is almost enough. But, for guys like Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey, all the top flight guys, the legendary players, this is hard. You got to fight the instinct to shut it down because the season is over. You have to put yourself back in the mindset of a rookie. That you're still trying to earn your reps. That's hard when you're close to 30 or in your 30s, but that's what professionals do. So you have a chance to keep playing. And on the other side, if you can ruin somebody's season, that's almost as fun as winning. If you can knock Seattle in the playoffs, wouldn't that be great? Extend that rivalry. But for the most part, if you're just an average defensive tackle, think about this. Let's say Jonah Williams. You may have 150 more snaps in this season, and that's it. And then there may not be any more after that. So you might as well play them as hard as you can while you can.
How many of these, to that kind of along those lines, like how many of these guys that we're seeing, because so many important players are in street clothes right now, DeMarco, how many of these guys who we're watching play these last 3 games do you think will be here next year?
Oh, man, that's hard. Because, I mean, some of these guys I didn't expect to be here this year, but you're all beat up, and here you are. I mean, I remember Ty Nsekhe, and I think this is a great story. He's your left tackle right now. I remember him in 2012. The Rams cut him then, and he bounced around and found his way back to this football team. But he's 37 years old. How many starts do you think he has left in him?
Right.
How many more years does he have left? But right now, he is the starter for the Los Angeles Rams. So that stuff yet to be determined. It depends on who comes back and how healthy are they to start minicamp. But for the most part, most rosters turn over in the National Football, win or lose, by about 25-30%. So some of these guys are playing their last snaps. You just don't know it.
That was a very polite way of saying not very many.
Let me hit you with one more, DeMarco, before we let you go. And obviously, the debut of Baker Mayfield was awesome because they won the game and they won it in dramatic fashion and everything else. What did you make of the second performance that was a little bit more familiar as far as people that have seen Baker Mayfield play?
Well, I mean, look, you're back to even. I mean, it was great. It was euphoric. The Raiders win. And we said this. I think I told you guys or asked you guys this. I wasn't sure. Was it the fact that the Rams had won for the first time in 7 weeks, or was it Baker Mayfield? Or was it a combination of the two? But I think you saw the other end of the Baker Mayfield experience. But I'll tell you what I would like. I would love to see what he looks like in an offense that has all the starters, Cooper Kupp included, Allen Robinson. I mean, minicamp or a 7-on-7 just to see what he looks like with that arm with some top flight guys, and then I can make a judgment. This is kind of hard. Imagine learning the playbook, not knowing the guys' names that you're throwing to, and you're expecting him to find that guy on his 3rd or 4th read when the pressure's getting to him. It's kind of hard to be a quarterback that way. So I would love to see him more acclimated to the offense with the top flight guys around him.
DeMarco Farr will be on the sidelines on Christmas Day. Broncos and Rams, 2 4-10 teams.
Take the under.
Yeah, taking the both. I think DeMarco. I haven't gone and done my exact. I think the two teams combined have scored more than 20 points 4 times. I think that's right.
Yeah, it
should be a real barn burner.
You know, look, the Russell Wilson thing, I'm still baffled by, but it looks like he's coming back around.
Yeah, he's supposed to play. He's supposed to play on Sunday, so we'll get to see Russell Wilson again. I thought we were done with him for a while, but not so much. Thanks, pal. Appreciate it.
Bye, man.
You got it. Yeah, 4-10 versus 4-10. How about this? They go from Thursday night football, only game on, everybody sees it. Monday night football, only game on, everybody sees it. Sunday afternoon, Christmas Day football, only game on, everybody sees it. And Emily, they still haven't flexed out of Sunday night, have they? Their next game after that is
that's gotta happen,
Sunday
though.
night
That's
football
that's
against
the
the
Chargers game.
where everybody sees
But it could mean something for the Chargers. That's the only reason they wouldn't flex it.
But is there not a better game that the
There are
NFL?
some games that are mildly better, but it's not a great weekend slate. Because you think, the reason the Rams are on 4 consecutive primetime games, everybody thought they were going to be good.
Yeah.
And
if they didn't have a
happened.
37-year-old starting left tackle or something.
That
I didn't
tied in
realize he was
second.
that old.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, he'd been bounced. He got cut in 2012. It's almost 2023.
It's like
a long
Matt
time
Ryan
ago.
has been doing DoorDash since then. Honestly, my big takeaway from that whole conversation is I can't stop thinking about DeMarco wearing one of those little caps with the ear things and doing his egg beaters under the water.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm just glad that he doesn't want to fight me and that we're going to be a tag team together because me and DeMarco together as a tag team, we could be a formidable combination. I feel like we'd have the size advantage on any other group you're going to throw together.
What is the typical build of a water polo player? It's not DeMarco.
Nope. But you do want to be stockier. So it depends on girls tend to be stockier. Men tend to be really tall, long arms.
Right.
Long arms is the biggest thing to have.
Wingspan, as Jay Billis would say.
Yes, wingspan is great, and being able to be very strong.
All right, some good news in Laker world. Not this team, but an old team. Something cool happened in Laker history. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Sli. BK's in for Sli, 710 ESPN.
your Thursday. Thanks to Corporate Greg for sitting in that first hour. It was good. It's good.
Corporate Greg.
Brian Kamenetsky is in this hour, sitting in for Sli, the secret agent man who is missing today under the weather. We think. Nah, just kidding. Travis and Sliwa with Brian Kamenetsky continues right now.
I don't think Chris is kidding. And I don't think anybody else has been kidding. Taylor, of all people, has not been kidding. He came off the top rope with a coward call. Yeah. You just sat down. He's like, oh, no, he's lying.
Yeah, he's a bad person.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, maybe he just really needed a day off.
What would you call somebody who lies about calling in sick to avoid fulfilling the obligations of a bet?
That's a very good question.
Bad person?
Questionable value.
I think that's probably a more a softer way to say what you're saying.
That's just a euphemism for bad person.
Yeah, just somebody that maybe isn't fully committed to their craft. Somebody that doesn't understand. Like this is one of my favorite quotes. Doing your job on the day, or no, I screwed it up. That's how much I like it. Being a professional means doing your job on the day you don't feel like doing it. That's why they pay the easy days. Sure, come in here and talk about the Rams winning the Super Bowl, Lakers winning a championship. Those are the easy ones. The ones they're paying you for are when you lose to the Sacramento Kings and your producer is a Sacramento Kings fan who has a Mike Bibby jersey waiting for you, and you just can't
don't
stomach the thought.
Right, because you're a person of low moral character. Do you think this is a side that Lady Sli gets to see, or does he hide it from her?
Well, I mean, I would assume you can only keep up a facade for so long. You can only present your best face for a period of time before eventually whoever you are, good, bad, and anywhere in between, they get to see it all, right? I mean, and what is that? Is that a couple of months before?
I don't know, but like Alan could be really good.
You've been married
this.
for a long
but
time.
We already established I don't even try. I'm sure I get in trouble for things that I don't even know if I did because my memory is so bad. So they sound like I could have done them, but I don't know if I did it.
Your memory thing reminded me of something that. Okay, I do a thing that is a genuinely bad guy thing to do, but it deeply amuses me, so I do it anyway. I introduce myself to people that I've met multiple times, that I know I've met multiple times, but I do it because I know it bothers them. Yeah, hey, I'm Travis. Nice to meet. Yeah, I don't even want to say the right name.
Every morning he introduces himself to Sliwa.
There's like 3 guys that I do it to a lot, and they don't know that I'm doing it on purpose. They genuinely think that I've forgotten.
That's a great bit.
And I love it.
That's a great bit.
I love it.
Great bit.
And Susan will you can't do that. They think you're so rude. I'm like, that's why it's awesome. What don't you understand about this? The look on his face every time I extend my hand and introduce myself is this defeated, crestfallen look that I love.
And it also keeps your circle nice and manicured. Because we're all old, and like my dad is like this. He's like, and you're an old person.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's like, I got enough friends. Like I'm 77 years old. I don't need to be adding people to my sphere at this point.
I'm good. Look, I have my bucket is full,
right.
And if the little splashes out now and again, I don't need to refill it.
You're like the club. It's a strict 1 in, 1 out policy. So if someone dies, not that we're wishing it,
well, not everybody.
Then someone else, Travis, can make a new friend.
Ireland has a great thing that I've adopted as my own as well. He goes, look, if you're not in my phone by now, I don't need to know you. Mm-hmm. That's a kind of a pretty good way to do it. I'm good, but Susan will do this thing. Okay, we're going to this party. You know this person. I don't. She's like, you've met him several times. And this one, I don't. I know you told me that we were on the same soccer team when the kids were 7. Well, he's 22 now. I don't remember who these people are. You're gonna have to fill me in on this.
And I can't remember the names of adults.
No.
I can generally remember who you belong to and why I know you, and you're a priest. You're
Sarah's mom.
Yeah, you're my daughter's preschool. This that way, but like I don't remember your names. And
what's your remedy for that? I go full deep in. I would say, I'm really sorry. I don't remember your name. I'm sorry.
I do it. Yeah. I reintroduce myself and say, I don't know.
We've
Brian,
met before, but
I know I'm really
your
sorry, and I'm really bad at this.
And I've never gotten a bad result.
I just avoid saying their name.
I love introducing myself.
Hey, buddy.
The look, it's one of these. I'm going to try to recreate it. Just that. Really, we're doing this again? Like, yeah. And I'm super enthusiastic. Like, hey, how you doing? I'm Travis. Nice to meet you. I love it. It's just the little petty things in life that make me very, very happy.
It's going to help you live to be 112.
Oh, the more people hate you, the longer you go. That's the rule.
Well, I mean, nothing is pettier than living well beyond the time
second
anybody
I'm
wants
out of
you.
money, get rid of me.
My great-grandmother was a tremendously awful person.
Oh.
Lived to be like 98, 99.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then just bitter to the very end?
Told my mom on her wedding day white wasn't her color.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
her thing. And
wow.
Granted, English was not her native language, but
Okay.
she'd been in the country for a long time. She spoke and understood perfectly well. She was not
Sammy
able.
Sosa.
You call her before Congress, nobody was going to be able to say. So her thing, when she would go out and she would come home and she would say, "Guess who saw me today?" Not normal people say, "You'll never guess who I ran into."
Right.
Guess
who saw me.
Guess who saw me today?
Yeah.
She was that self-absorbed and narcissistic.
I like that.
Guess who saw me today?
Guess who's going to be seeing a lot
Guess
of Travis.
who saw me today? She said to my grandfather, she said, a good son would buy his mother a house in the Florida.
I've heard that story before. The Florida is the part that brings me back to that.
Yep.
1971, December 22nd, 1971, the Lakers won their 27th consecutive game. That set the North American major pro sports record. Of course, it went on to be a 33-game winning streak, which really is stunning when you stop and think about it.
I don't see them breaking that this year.
No, not this year.
No.
I don't like their chances. 28 in a row, the Warriors. They got close. That was in 2015. The Heat won 27, 2013. The Rockets 22, which, by the way, you win 22 games in a row, and you basically can't lose for another month. That's kind of
You're
the rule.
2/3 of the way there.
That
insane.
has to be up there, right?
It'll never be broken in part because nobody plays their players 33 games in a row anymore. You know, it just doesn't happen. It's like baseball records that won't be broken. Cy Young pitching 526 innings in one season.
Yeah, no, those endurance ones are not coming back. But is there not just a mathematical? We obviously have to be very, very good. You have to be kind of like, for instance, go back to the Warriors for a second. The year they won 7, they clearly wanted to win 73 games.
Yes.
That was a goal of theirs, and we know what they didn't win the championship, which makes it a footnote rather than greatest season of all time. But it would have to be a team that's got young players that says, let's you win 16, 17 in a row, and you say, you know what, let's keep this thing going.
At the risk of offending the old timers out there, Travis, I also think, like, you know, what was it? J.J. Redick referred to players from that era. They're all like plumbers and handymen.
Yes.
So if you happen to have like the 8 players in the league that aren't plumbers and handymen, you're going to win a lot. And so, I mean, they had some dudes on that team.
So that's more. You're arguing more of a function of the opponents.
They were very good. I think it was probably easy. I don't think the depth in the league was like it is now. Like, even the terrible teams in the NBA have 2 or 3 players where you look at it. Like, the Rockets have guys where you're like, you know, Jabari Smith and Kevin Porter play really well tomorrow. They could win that game.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's got a few of those guys. I think in the 70s, they didn't. They all looked like us. Like, if you look at trading cards of players from that era, the guys who were like 26 years old looked like they were 40.
With mustaches and sideburns.
They look like your dad was playing.
Well, that's what it was. They all look like your dads, right?
Right.
That even the guys that were really good had a certain dad vibe to them. Like, you find like a John Havlicek or something like that. It's like, yeah, it could have been my dad.
They look like they never had
That's
worked
why
out
when
a
you
day in
see
their life.
Wilt Chamberlain, you're like, what in the world is going on here?
He's
he's ripped and he's enormous and he's just killing guys.
I forget the exact number, but I think he had a season where he averaged 50 and 20.
Yeah,
I know he had a 50 season.
Is that good? Well,
Can you imagine
you've heard
holding
Michael
a guy
say,
to 46 and 18 and being like, I did a good job?
Michael told me something I've never forgotten, and it's I don't think it's ever failed me. If the question is who is the only, the answer is always Wilt Chamberlain. It's always Wilt Chamberlain. If the question is who is the only NBA player to, the answer is Wilt Chamberlain.
In 1961-62, Wilt Chamberlain averaged 50.5 points per game and 26 rebounds.
Okay. But to your point, somebody built and that looks like me was guarding him for 50 games that year.
Right. Interestingly enough, he this is Kobe-esque. He averaged 40 field goals a night.
That's quite a few.
Field goal attempts. He only shot 50%.
Well, 40%, 50% when you're taking nothing but shots from 3 feet from the goal, that's not a bad way to go
I would
about
think
it.
if you're averaging 50 points a game and you're 7'1", 275 in 1962,
pretty good.
You would have a higher field goal percentage.
89% field goal percentage.
That's actually not as good as I would have thought.
Our NFL picks against the spread. Did we get Sli's picks, Emily, or are we just going to have BK be his stand-in?
BK could be his
proxy?
This, yeah.
All right, you get to pick for Al, so try to tank on purpose. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Sli. 7. I'm trying to educate you on hair systems, toupees, pieces. I'm going to do it. I need someone to hook me up.
I can't do it. Like, you at least have some hair.
Not much.
But you could integrate some hair into what you're. I have been doing this for way too long.
But I don't want to like walk it back. I just want to show up one day. Like I want to go from this to. I want to go full
Fabio.
piece. Yes. That's how
flowing locks.
Like you know what it needs to be. I need to do it like take a vacation, like to take be gone for a week in the middle of the summer, leave looking like this, and come back like I just grew it out a little bit.
Yeah,
what's the big deal?
Well, I mean,
Would you get salt and pepper or just brown hair?
I kind of like the fact that my hair's a little gray. I don't mind the gray as much as I don't like the fact that there's not much hair. Full stop.
Bright red.
Yeah.
Just go bright
Carrot
red.
top?
Sure.
Yeah, I could. Well, I mean, we can workshop this. Maybe I'll get a whole system together. All right. Week 16. Here's where we are. Emily, you did not close the gap. We both had terrible weeks. I'm still on the top. I have 78 points. Emily is in second place with 75. Al's in third, 65. Taylor. I can't read my own writing. Taylor is at 56.
Do you need to read your writing to know the name of the guy?
It says Tyler on the sheet. I know his name is Taylor, but they're both sit there. It's very confusing. It's my fault. I take full responsibility.
I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me.
Yes, that's what it is. Taylor, you are going first today. The first game, as always, the Rams are at home. I just think you all need to take this in for a second. The Rams are 2.5 points of an underdog at home against a 4-win team. Denver, 2.5-point favorite at SoFi. Taylor, who you got?
I don't know. Something tells me they're going to pull this out. Christmas miracle. Rams at my 1, though.
Rams at 1. Brian.
I'm into this. I will say Rams.
Okay.
Feeling the Baker Mayfield experience.
Sure.
I'm going to make it my 2, and I might make 4 games my 2 because I don't understand what I'm doing.
you can only use the number 1 time. Right. So and now 2 is off the board.
Okay, and if Liar Allen wishes I did a better job, he should show up to work.
Emily.
All right, so I don't trust Russell Wilson whatsoever, so I have the Rams at my 1.
All right, so this is the surest way to make sure that Denver wins this thing is for me to pick the Rams. Whenever it's everybody on one side, it almost always goes the other way. I'm not a Russell Wilson guy. This is really the last decent chance the Rams have to win a game this year. The problem is they don't have any players. They had 2 more guys go down for the rest of the year earlier this week. That makes, I believe, 11.
Now, are they actually injured? Or are they Sliwa injured?
They could be Sliified. It could be a
right.
Sli special. I don't know if they're going to show up for like training table afterwards and they can't eat. But all of that being said, I'm going to take the Rams at number 1 as well. Brian, you're going first on this next one.
All right.
The Las Vegas Raiders on the road. It's the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers 2.5-point favorites.
Steelers, sorry, Emily, aren't very good.
Nope.
I'm not going to deny that.
I don't know if they're going to throw them the ball at the end, though. I will say the Raiders, but I make that my 4.
Oh, that means you like that the most, just so you understand.
I'm going to make that my 1.
There you go. I had a feeling that might have been.
Why wouldn't 1 be your most confident?
Because 1, if you win the game, you only get 1 point. If you win the 4-point game, you get 4 points. The idea is to collect points.
Okay, so it's not like golf.
It's not like golf.
Okay.
Bigger numbers are better. In
It's
this
America.
game.
We like big points.
Emily.
Okay, gonna be a homer. Gonna pick the Steelers, but it's also the it's gonna be a very sad, emotional weekend in Pittsburgh. I think that's gonna kind of motivate these guys, even if they Franco didn't ever be around him. I think it's gonna be something that they want to win for Pittsburgh. Steelers at my 3.
All right, Pittsburgh at 3. My turn. I'm going to take the Steelers as well for the reasons that you mentioned. And the Raiders can't stand nice things. The Raiders are gifted this thing that happened last week. They're not really in the playoff picture, but they're kind of in the playoff picture. They still have a mathematical pulse. The Steelers, while not good, I agree with you, BK, they're also really well coached, and they go out there and they do the things that they're being asked to do more often than not. You can't say the same thing about the Raiders, so I'm going to take the Steelers all the way at the top with number 4, Taylor.
I agree with Emily. I think the Steelers are going to win for Franco, and the Raiders are going to Raider. So we're going to put them at my 4 as well.
Oh, boy, I'm dead meat. Anytime Taylor piggybacks, you're in big, big trouble. All right, next game. Brian, you're first on this one. No, you went first on the last one. I went first last time. Emily, you're first on this one. Chargers on the road Monday night in Indy. Chargers are 4.5-point road favorites.
Okay, so I don't know if I want to go game theory here or if I want to go actually with the pick that I think is going to win. But I think it's going to be – I'm going to put my Chargers at my 4. That's really who I think is going to win. I do think that everyone else is going to pick the same thing, and so therefore it's not going to do anything for me long term. But Chargers at my 4.
Well, I'm going to kind of piggyback what you said. I'm going to take the Chargers, too, at number 2 because they actually looked really good last week. They played Tennessee. They looked good. The week before that, they played Miami. They looked good. They've looked good a couple of weeks in a row. I'm going to regret saying this, but it looks like they've figured some things out along the way. So give me the Chargers. Taylor.
I wrote these down before, guys. Got the Chargers, too, at 3.
Gosh, dang it.
Chargers at 3. BK.
If I seem distracted, it's because Michael Thompson is yelling at me, livid about the things I said about old-timey players.
Plumbers and repairmen?
Yes, he is very upset. I have the Chargers as my fantasy defense this week in the playoffs. No Jonathan Taylor. He's not playing.
Right.
Everything is set up for the Chargers to dominate and make a statement, which, of course, means they're going to completely charger the bed. That said, I will take them as my 4 because I don't know what the other game is.
All right. Well, with that in mind, let's go to our final game. Dallas and Philadelphia, which is a little bit different because
Gardner Minshew.
Jalen Hurts will not be involved. It'll be a Gardner Minshew joint coming up in Dallas. Dallas 5.5-point favorite against Philadelphia. I'm going first here. Am I crazy? I don't think the Cowboys don't stink, but I don't think they're very good either. That's kind of what it is. I do think Philly's really good. I think Minshew is kind of what you're hoping for in a backup quarterback. He can keep it moving. He's not going to kill you. Plus, it's Gardner Minshew with the stash, right? So you got to put that in there. I'm going to take Philly at my 3, and that brings us to you, Taylor.
I got the Cowboys winning this and put them on my 2.
Dallas at 2 for Taylor. Emily. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Brian's next.
Okay.
I detest the Cowboys. So the answer is Philly, and I think I have 3 left.
You do.
And it's because Gardner Minshew has a killer mustache.
He really does. And by the way, we'll talk about this.
I feel like I
had
more confidence in a guy in the huddle if he had a mustache.
It seems it's very what's the word I want? Not swashbuckling, but it kind of swashbuckling a little bit along the way. Emily, what do you got?
I'm doing this purely so that I get some points on you this weekend, Travis. I'm going Cowboys at my 2. Don't like it. I wouldn't have picked it otherwise, but I just don't want to lose.
So you see this little grid that I put together here, BK? You notice how there's no names, no games written down under Sliwa? It's because he didn't come to work.
He's not here. He's a lying liar who tells lies.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Is Gardner Minshew, does he not have the best job in all of sports? Because you get quarterback money, sort of. You don't get starting quarterback money. You're not getting Mahomes money.
What's the minimum in the NFL?
I bet you, and we could look this up, Gardner Minshew has to make at least $1 million, right? At least. And it's probably more than that. There are no expectations other than just go in there and don't be terrible. And even if you are terrible, it's probably not your fault. What does he make?
In 2022, Gardner Minshew will earn a base salary of $2.54 million.
Perfect. So he makes $2.5 million. He makes $2.5 million to not play, to be the quarterback, walk around with the stash, and be like, "Yeah, quarterback of the
I'm available.
Quarterback of the Eagles."
He gets all the shorts and the T-shirts and the swag and everything.
Tell me a better job in pro sports than being
backup quarterback.
Backup quarterback
to a good quarterback. That way, a good and durable quarterback. Who was it? Jim Sochi or whatever was Peyton
Manning's guy. Yeah,
backup for years.
Chase Daniels banked like
Sorgi.
Jim Sorgi.
Yeah.
Chase Daniel, who's Justin Herbert's backup, I believe, has banked like $40 million and played in 10 games.
The key is to put yourself on a team where nobody ever finds out whether or not you're good. Like Jim Sorgi might not have been able to complete a forward pass. Nobody knew because Peyton Manning played every single game.
I have one other job that I'd like to throw in there. Now, it's not glamorous. Like Gardner Minshew can walk into a place. He's a member of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
There's a situation where he could become a hero, right? We saw it with Nick Foles, right? It's not unprecedented where the backup becomes a very important part of what you're doing. Little cachet to that. The job that I'm about to throw out there does not have that possibility. However, you travel in relative style occasionally. You go to the best cities in this country, but to the nicest part of the best cities of this country. You are always in warm weather, and your job just consists of taking long walks. Is caddy to PGA Tour superstar not an unbelievable? Like, if I'm not saying like rank and file guy where you're sweating whether your guy's going to make the cut. Being Phil Mickelson's caddy, being Tiger Woods, being any of those top 30 guys on tour, being their guy, being Rory McIlroy's caddy, that sounds amazing.
Because that guy probably makes
hundreds of thousands at the low end,
300 or 400
at least
thousand a year,
at least.
And like, this is one of the things that you have to remind. Like, when you work in and around sports, as we have, you lose touch with what salaries. We say, well, they got that guy cheap. Gardner Minshew doesn't make that much money.
$2.5 million.
$2.5 million
which is
a year,
10 times more than probably the vast majority of the people that are listening to us right now make. Probably 20 times more than a lot of people are listening.
Make in like wouldn't make in a decade or 2 decades or 3. Like, we forget, like, when a guy goes and plays 4 months in South Korea and banks like $380,000. We're like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Nobody makes $380,000 in this country. They're like 9 people in this country make that kind of money, and we poo-poo it because we work in sports. But of course, we're radio hosts.
Yes,
so we're in that
We're
group.
near people who make money like that. We're not of them.
Right.
We're near them.
we're putting the peppermint bark that they're putting in the yes. So we can repackage it and put it under a tree at home. So we don't have to buy it ourselves.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Maybe that's what Alan is doing.
Perhaps.
So,
but Brian,
that's a good gig.
What if I told you you're going to make? Let's say you're going to make $400,000.
Yeah. Carry it back.
You're going to take a long. And here's what you need to know: you can't be late.
Mm-hmm.
Don't argue with me, and offer positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement. And you have to be honest. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Who was the guy who was like? I forget. They played this clip, and the caddy was like, very gently, listen, I think what you're doing is a bad idea. Like, the clip went viral, and he's like, and he actually said, this one's on me.
Yeah.
And he put the ball exactly where the caddy said he was going to. He was like hitting the ball out of the fairway bunker, and he's like, caddy's like, I think this is probably, end up, why don't you
hey, what about the 7 instead of the 6?
And
I think the 7's the play here.
And he said, you know what, I think, because all these guys think they can hit
I think
any
it was
shot.
Justin Spieth, or Jordan Spieth.
And he's like, this one's on me, and he did it I mean, like, that's actually, I think, probably the best outcome.
Yeah.
And now Spieth looks at him and says, like, this guy's really good.
And when he decides he's going to do what he's going to do, you go, all right, boss, let's hit a good one.
Right.
That's it.
That's
hey,
it.
Put a good swing on it, boss. That's the job for hundreds of thousands. Hey, we're going to go to Riviera this week. Hey, we're going to go to LACC. Hey, we got to go to Florida, hang out at Arnold's place. Hey, we're going to go to Jack's
It's a little
place.
like being a radio producer.
It's unbelievable.
Like Travis says, we're going to do this segment. All right. Give it a good swing, boss.
But the radio producer doesn't get to fly on the G5.
No.
The radio producer.
That's what you think.
Yeah, maybe you have a secret life that I don't know about. But caddy sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Keep one end of the towel wet, keep the other end dry, and keep a couple of granola bars in your bag.
I saw it popped up on my Facebook feed, and I was like, normally I don't like these things because I don't want any of the stuff. It was a golf towel with a magnet on it. So you don't even have to bend down to pick up your towel on the ground. You just stick your club on it, and it sticks to your club, and you pick it up, and then you can wipe your club and all that, and you throw it back in the bag. Or you don't even have to aim. Just throw it at your bag, and it's going to stick to something.
See, when you're a real cat, you catch the ball in your towel, and you're already ready.
Oh, I know, that's good.
I'm ready. I know how to do these things. I know all the vernacular.
You actually do have a certain catty look to you.
But here's what you got to be able to do, too.
Right.
When the boss wants to go drinking, you got to go drinking. Okay. Hey, I need you to go make sure that she knows that I'm on the tour. I
Generally
can go do that
speaking,
for
you got to swing it a little bit. You got to be able to play
I can
play a
keep
little
up.
golf. Yeah,
I can keep up. Hey, any tour play, I need you like in the top 20. Outside of the top 20, I don't want to have to hustle.
Right.
I want the stuff. I want all the stuff.
The quality of life.
Lincoln Riley has not played his first bowl game as USC head coach, but he's already running his mouth, and I love it. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Sli, 710 ESPN. All right, I want to get to Lincoln Riley in a second, but we were kind of just chit-chatting a little during the break, and we got on Carlos Correa somehow. I think we got a little clarity on what happened over the last day or so, because it was weird. When you just, yesterday morning, you wake up, and all of a sudden, Carlos Correa's on the Mets after a 13-year deal with the Giants. they're getting ready to do a press conference. There's a little something. Hey, there's something going on with the medical that they want to take a look at, and then the next day he's on the Mets for a one fewer year and $35 fewer million. You got to be quicker than that. It's still pretty amazing. So there are two theories here, right? There's the theory that the Giants had a legitimate concern about something that they saw and said, hey, can we look at this again? Let's hit pause on this for a second. And then the Mets kind of came in at the last minute and said, hey, we're okay. In that case, the Giants feel terrible about what happened. They had their guy poached from them, et cetera, et cetera. But what the reporting today is saying is that the Giants were concerned about an ankle injury that he had in 2014.
Ooh.
Okay? So an ankle, 2014, by the way, I looked at, Carlos Correa has had, in his career, has had 1 year where he did not play basically every day.
That's what I was looking up.
Yeah, there's 1 year where he played about slightly less than half the games in a season. Otherwise, he plays the regular amount of Major League Baseball.
136 last year, 148 the year before.
Yep. And you go on down the line, he's really only had one season that was injury riddled. 2014, an ankle injury. The Giants are thrilled that the Mets came in and took him away. This was their exit ramp. They took it, and somebody went in and did it. Because 2014, it's 9 years ago.
He wasn't even in the major. He was 19 years old.
He was he was
19.
Teenager.
Yes.
This is this whole idea that, hey, did they get poached? The Giants wanted out. They had that moment of sobriety the next day say, wait, we bought what? For how much? For how? This is a terrible
Carlos
deal.
Correa until he's 40.
Right. And so that they're out of it, this is not the Giant fans being devastated by what happened. This is the Giants being thrilled they were able to dupe someone else into taking this guy.
I mean, like, I look at all these deals, and I think they're all kind of insane. That feels, of all these, like, Aaron
I think it's the
Judge,
second worst one.
This
Bogarts is the
bad.
worst.
Right, okay.
But they're by a hair. The only money that's gotten thrown around in the last 2 weeks or so since the hot stove heated up and all that, the only one I'm like, I wish the Dodgers would have done that. It's like literally same amount of years, same amount of dollars was Verlander. The rest of them, because it's 2 years, even if it's a disaster from the jump, we're out of this in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Those other ones are, and I would have taken Trey Turner at the same numbers too, but they obviously feel differently. It is.
Yeah, that one stung.
It doesn't work. Like when you look, and you've obviously covered the NBA for a long time, but you've been a sports fan forever. I can think of one or two instances where the guy that goes out and buys all the players at these crazy expensive numbers gets what you're looking for. One of the teams was the Rams last year. It's very rare. We take all my picks. We'll take all the players. We're going to give you a new deal and you a new deal and you a new deal. And it hits. It hit for the Rams.
It's because winning is really hard. And there's so many things that go into it. And buying players of that caliber is an incredibly inefficient way to do it. And so for most owners, and this to me is what's fascinating about the whole Phoenix Suns selling for $4 billion thing, because the Lakers are probably worth on the open market probably at least double that. But the person who bought him is this venture capitalist guy that healthcare VC that we've never heard of, but is in another class. Like Jeannie Buss and the Buss family are incredibly rich people, but they're not
like
that. Like if they didn't own the Lakers, they wouldn't be buying the Lakers, buying the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
They don't have that kind of money. And the amount of people that are in the league, in any league now, that are old of that generation of ownership. I guess in the NBA, it's like the Lakers and Herb Simon.
Yeah.
And but in baseball, like the guy who is bought the Padres,
Peter Seidler,
clearly doesn't necessarily care about operating at a profit, at least for now.
Right.
But at some point he might.
Well,
if this doesn't work, he might.
The ego play, and that's what Seidler or Cohen or any of these guys are doing, right? That it's this, hey, I want to win. I want to make a big splash. I want to do it right now. Give me Trey Turner. Give me, Soto. Give me Bogarts. Give me all of these guys, and I'll pay whatever the going rate is. I'll pay you that plus a premium to get you to come to my team. Great. If the Padres, Mets, one of these teams, Phillies, they gave out a big deal, they win a World Series in the first couple of years, you can argue that it's worth it, much like what the Rams did. They went all in on all of these things, and it hit. They've had a 5-year run where they went to 2 Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl, were in the playoffs 4 out of 5 years. They were exciting. It was fun. It was a great little run, but you're starting to see the bill come due. It's worth it. There's not a Rams fan out there that's like, well, why did we do that? You just won the Super Bowl.
Right.
But if you go through 3 or 4 years of the Padres or of the Mets and you are doing what the Dodgers have done, where you're not winning World Series, you're in it, you're kind of in the mix, but you're not punching your ticket, you can only do that for so long before I'm not going to continue to sign crazy deals.
What's the stat? I forget what it is of the amount of times that the team with the best record wins the World Series in baseball.
It's less than half.
It's way less than half. Way less. And I think it's like under a third.
It might be.
Baseball, especially basketball. I mean, I would say today, it used to be, you got LeBron, Anthony Davis, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Those guys need to be able to be on the floor.
The team with the best record is almost always in the Final Four.
1 or 2 guys. Yeah. This year is strange because there is so much parity. But generally speaking, historically, you can predict the 5 teams that are going to be there at the end if guys are healthy. Baseball, you can't do that. And so, like, when people say, well, the Dodgers are a failure, they've only won 1 World Series. And what would you do differently? Do it exactly what they should do is exactly what they've been doing, except baseball. There's just no
The Dodgers
guarantee.
are fascinating because here's what's left. Okay, and this isn't everybody. I'm talking about like the headliner names, right? The bold names in this thing. Trey Turner is gone. He was one of your best players. Justin Turner is gone. He wasn't one of your best players, but he's one of your most important players.
Right. And played pretty well down the stretch.
And absolutely
yes.
was a good player. Cody Bellinger is, I don't know what that's going to be moving forward, but very handsome and a good defensive player and a guy that may or may not find it again, but an impactful member of your team. Andrew Heaney is gone. Pitched a lot for you last year. Tyler Anderson is gone. Pitched a lot for you last year. Here's what's come in. Noah Syndergaard, who, okay, let's see, maybe. You've got Jason Hayward, who's on a minor league deal. And you've got J.D. Martinez, who's on a short-term, relatively modest, again, to sports dollars, relatively modest deal. This is not what the Dodgers have done. This is dramatically different than what they've done.
It is and it isn't. Because what the Dodgers are not is nostalgic.
No.
They cut the cord on players when they think it needs to be. Now, it may not have lined up exactly this year. Like they might take a step back because they look at they've always looked at the long term and said, is this a deal that we want to be involved in for the next 10 years, 8 years, whatever? And a lot of times they say no, particularly when it comes to pitchers. And so broadly, like in the sense of the Dodgers will always spend, they'll always make the big move. Maybe they're pulling back because they didn't feel like whatever moves were out there, whatever dollars were there, fit their rubric that they use every single year. That has worked very well. But the part of it that does fit their profile is we are not going to make emotional choices. Justin Turner is an emotional part of our team, but the cost benefit isn't there anymore, and eventually got to say no.
Those are tough because you look at a guy like Trey Turner, and that's where I think the rubric you're talking about is where hey, look, this is what we're comfortable spending, and this is how long we're comfortable spending it for. If someone goes above and beyond that, we're out. Justin Turner, I thought may be the exception to the rule. I thought Justin Turner might get the Kershaw treatment because Kershaw is still very, very good. He's not peak Kershaw, but he's very useful. Better than that. He started the All-Star game last year and should have. It was a very good season, but he's going to go down a couple of times. Justin Turner, I think, is the equivalent of that as a position player. He's still above league average. He can give it, but he's got an incredible amount of presence. He's incredibly popular amongst Dodger fans. I was surprised that they didn't go, and you know what? This doesn't fit the rubric exactly, but it's close enough. And what's one more year?
Right, because he only got 2 and 21.
Yeah.
And that's different than Trey Turner getting $300 million for, 11 years?
Yeah.
Now,
I was surprised. That one
But
surprised me.
if Kershaw said, I need 3 years, he'd have been gone 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's because everybody is content. They all know the rules. Like if Kershaw, like we will put, I'm sure they've said this to him, as long as you want to play, we will do, unless, assuming you're not terrible.
Right.
But as long as you're capable of playing and want to do it, we will give you a contract
will offer to you, but it's going to be the same deal every year. It's going to be 1 year, $20 million, 1 year, $18 million. The minute you ask for 3, Godspeed, we'll build you a statue.
You think they do that with Kershaw?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
if he asked for 3, if he would have asked for 4 2 years ago,
I think they would have said it.
You
goodbye.
think so?
Yes.
I wonder. Is it? Clearly, they have their methodology. Clearly, but is nobody above the methodology?
I don't know. No. Nobody is above the methodology. Nobody.
That kind of bums me out a little bit.
It is. They say on Seinfeld, it is the policy. Yeah. Nobody is above the policy.
But it's your bodega.
Right. So it's the policy.
The super crosstalk in the dump. Coming up next, it's Trav and Sli, 710 ESPN.
With this because it's been weighing on me all show.
Okay.
So I know we always get a lot of content out of LeBron's social media because he tends to do some interesting things with the social media that is his own business.
Is
I guess.
In quotes, right?
Yes, it's in quotes. So LeBron yesterday posted a picture in which he was taking shots in an empty Kings arena, and then the photo is just a big shot of the entire Kings arena, and then up in the corner where it would be Kings, is what it should say.
The team name.
Yes, the team name. He scribbled out the S in King to say King. And then, just so, because he's the king.
I thought that was funny.
That's very LeBron.
I thought it was funny.
It feels so contrived. It's just...
It is.
You know, I'm in a weird spot with LeBron James. I have always been a fan. I really have loved watching him play for years and years and years and years and years. When he was in Cleveland, I liked watching him play. He was in Miami, I liked watching him play. When he came to LA, I was thrilled because he was on the team that I root for. I'm kind of over the social media stuff. I'm not saying that he should stop. I'm just saying that they're so cute that I'm just like, dude, stop.
In fairness to LeBron, there is not a human on the planet for whom social media isn't for them more than you.
I get it. But it's
you are
not
so
just
not the target
that.
audience.
I know. I'm fully aware, but it's still like, come on, man. Like, what was the other one we were talking about the other day? It was another social media thing, too, where it was, I don't know, none of these are big deals in and of themselves, but it's just the accumulation of all these little things. Like, come on, man. Just
I
stop.
understand, but I will say, the reason I think it's funny and I don't mind it is because I think it's a little bit of a troll job here. Like, this one struck me as like a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek kind of troll thing.
Then I'm in.
Right.
If
that I thought that's what I took
trolling
it
the
as.
Kings?
Because they beat him. I think it's a better thing to post if
He's
you
just
beat the Kings.
trolling, because it is sort of a little, like you say, contrived. It's a little obnoxious on the king. It's like, and it's like, you know, with a little pen. Scribbles out the S. I think he's aware of your reaction, Travis.
If it's done specifically to aggravate me and people like me, then I change my I go 180. I'm completely on the other side. If it's done intentionally to annoy,
but that's even worse for him. It just means he cares about all these voices.
Yeah, but he clearly does. That's not up for discussion, right? I mean, LeBron James,
but he doesn't want us to think that.
But
just calls himself King James on his handles.
He does what we all do. Oh, I don't care what anybody says. Yes, we do. We all do.
Yes.
Everybody. I shouldn't say very, very few people care when that I don't care what you think about me. Very few people fall into that category.
And I tend to think those people are like, there's something like chemically different about them in their brains. Like they're quantifiably different. Because most people,
I don't care.
Yeah, and like you
really
don't. But like in fact, like LeBron didn't name himself King James. They named him that.
But then he puts it on all his handles.
Because it's his
he does
brand.
all this stuff.
If you were somebody dubbed you King Emily,
Queen Emily,
either one, you and that became your deal, like your brand, and like it was in your financial interest to push that.
Well, Sports Illustrated didn't tattoo Chosen One on his back.
If you were the chosen one of board ops.
I'll make you a deal.
Which I am.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. If you want Chosen One on your back, I'll pay for it. Like, we can go today if you want to.
It's better than the Jordan Farmar tattoo where he had his name, Farmar or whatever, but in that way where it's the same above and below. Like if you flip him over, it also says Farmar.
That's a thing. That's not an anagram.
No, it's not a palindrome. It's not an anagram. It's
one of those.
Stupid
it's
tattoo.
It's a something gram.
Yeah.
It's a dramagram.
It's an expensive mistake is what it is.
The Sunday Ticket is leaving DirecTV after, forever, it certainly feels like. It's heading to YouTube, and YouTube got it for roughly $2.5 billion, or just a little bit more than half of what you could have got the Phoenix Suns for. I'm over this guy's got this. Just as long as somebody's got it, I'll find it. I don't really.
I mean, the kids watch YouTube these days. Nobody, more people have access. More people have access, especially young people, and will pay attention and follow things on YouTube than NFL Sunday Ticket. It's much easier to find stuff and subscribe to things on YouTube than NFL Sunday Ticket.
Yes, however. And my only however is, and I'm a DirecTV customer, I still have it, and I can't even exactly tell you why, other than I love flipping channels, which you cannot do on streaming services. You have to go out of what you're looking and go through the next thing, and you can't just flip. I like that instantaneous flipping through channels.
Get off my lawn.
Emily, what did I say this morning? I understand that.
4 words.
Old. No.
Get off my lawn.
Do you not like flipping channels?
It's not a joy. It's not a.
You don't like sitting on the couch mindlessly and just flipping through them.
I don't mind going through the guide and seeing, there's John Wick again.
You
but like,
look for something specific where I just want to kind of run into something.
But like you're making
Gilligan's Island's on.
You're making it sound like it's you wake up in the morning. It's channel flipping time. What are you doing today, Travis? Oh, I'm flipping through channels.
Brady Bunch is on TV Land. I had no idea. Let's watch 24 of those episodes.
Why not?
It's very funny to me because I have one friend. They're engaged and so they live together, and so I walked into their apartment for the first time, and I was just like, "What? You guys have cable?" And they're like 2 years older than me, so they're not very old. And then they're like, "Yeah, we love
it's like
cable."
A Victrola.
They love.
I'm sorry. Could you speak louder and directly into my horn?
It's just a thing of a past. None of my friends have cable.
That is my favorite old timey thing. What is our solution to deafness? A giant horn. It captures sound.
Why wouldn't you have two? This is you look like a Viking. Like, why are we just speaking into one horn?
Because he only has loss in one ear.
Then go stand on the other side.
I mean, but like,
I feel like this was not well conceived.
I mean, it was a design that was improvable.
Let's do a little super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God.
When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Sli?
Super Crosstalk begin.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, so we got a new jury in, and then I'm swearing Mason and Ireland in for jury duty here.
All right,
because we've been debating so far. We only have one juror that's basically hanging the jury at this point as to what is Sliwa's cause of absence today.
So Sliwa's out today.
Sliwa is out today.
They had a wager.
Sliwa called or texted Greg at roughly 3 o'clock this morning saying, "I don't feel well.
Okay.
I'm not coming in."
All right, that's a reasonable time to call in. I've done it later.
Sure.
Yes, you have. On many occasions.
12:52.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Now, he did say that if in the event that we got caught shorthanded, he could do it via Comrex if we had to, but he would really prefer not to.
All right.
We are just days away from basically most of us being off for a period of time.
Sure.
And so those last couple of days before vacation are always like, let's just get to the finish line.
Yeah,
Maybe start a day or two early.
Is Sli working next week?
He is not.
Is he planning on working tomorrow?
We'll get to that.
Okay. All right.
So he calls Greg, and obviously Brian comes in and does it. Greg did it the first hour for us today. But in addition to that, it's the holidays. In addition to that is the wager that Taylor and Al have had when the Kings and the Lakers play each other.
Reset the wager.
The loser has to wear the winner's jersey.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
For an entire show.
Nah.
Al wore
Last
it
time
for
we
a
didn't.
segment last time and then took it off like it was radioactive.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Kings win last night.
Yep.
Taylor has the jersey ready to go.
Nice.
No Sliwa. So everybody on the jury, Brian, Taylor, myself, all of the tweeters today and callers think that this was an attempt to dodge wearing the Kings jersey.
Okay. I tend to think that's probably true. But in a show of Lakers solidarity, I have an offer for you.
Okay.
If I wear the Bibby jersey for the entirety of today's show, is Sliwa off the hook?
That's up to Taylor.
Oh, my.
So, Taylor, I would argue I'm a more prominent Laker voice in this town than
The sacrificial
Sli.
lamb.
I'm offering as a Christmas present to
prisoner
Sli. Exactly.
It's a prisoner swap. Yeah.
It is a prisoner swap. If I wear the Bibby jersey for the entirety of the Mason and Ireland show today, is Sli off the hook?
Wow.
Well, Slee's going to be wearing it 2 times more this year anyway, so I think he's off the hook.
I'll tell you
That is a bold gesture, by the way.
This is really a nice gesture.
Yeah.
It is.
I think,
and a hilarious one since we're streaming on YouTube today.
I think Sli is setting himself up to catch a waterfall of crap.
Yep.
And I would like to try and help him avoid that.
Your gesture doesn't make him any less a lying liar who tells lies.
And a coward.
No, but it
Liar who tells
deflects.
lies, yeah.
Yeah.
It deflects. It's a bigger story. It's like Wag the Dog, you know. the president was involved in a sex scandal,
Right.
and then they
Start a war.
Start a
Right.
fake
But
war,
exactly.
and nobody cares about
This is
sex.
why Ireland is a pro, because
Yep.
what he is doing right now makes him look great.
Yes.
Team
Yeah,
player,
except the
magnanimous.
part when I'm walking around in a Mike Bibby jersey.
But you're doing
This
it.
is a good, strong play.
But
All right, wait, Taylor, do you have it now?
And it makes
Yeah, it's
Alan
white
look
chocolate,
worse.
actually.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, it is. It's Jason Williams. Well, that's,
Oh, you brought white chocolate.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I'm a little. I'm. If I am anything, I am hip. So let's see how it looks. Hold on.
All right. So
Now,
Mace,
do I believe Sli was dodging the bet?
do you believe that he could have come to work but chose not to for all of the reasons, including the bet?
I find in favor of the rest of you.
The prosecution?
The prosecution. Yeah, right. I find in favor of the prosecution. Oh, God.
That's pretty great.
Oh, God. Look at
So John's
John
got it on.
Ireland.
I will say a uniform that starts with the nickname White does fit well with,
If there is
John
white
Ireland.
on this staff,
He
it's
puts
me.
the white in white chocolate.
I mean,
I
that's
do put the white and white chocolate.
it's all butter solids.
is
not a
Sli-
lot of
what-
cocoa.
Is Sli coming in tomorrow,
Well, see, that-
or is
so
this
that's the
sort
next-
of
Now
the,
he is.
the
That's
stretch?
the next layer of this. Like, does it make it more or less believable that he was sick today if he does or does not show up tomorrow?
Well, but now it's irrelevant because I'm taking him off the hook, right? He
Well-
doesn't, if he shows up tomorrow, does he have to wear this?
That's again. This
No.
is
No,
no,
yeah.
no,
you're
the-
taking
He's
that.
at home.
The debt
punching
has
the air
been
right now.
paid.
You're filling in for Sli.
Yeah,
Literally filling in
no,
for Sli.
Taylor is the receiver here,
Yes.
and he has agreed that the
Okay.
debt has been paid.
All right, but
All right.
so if he comes in, then it was 100% the bet. Because if he's sick, I mean,
If he's sick, then
you don't. Who
you
misses
know.
the day of work before the day of work before you go on vacation?
Mason.
Wait a minute, no. Wait a minute. The day of no, that's not true. The day of work before the last day of work,
Yes.
I never miss that one.
Yeah.
The day before, I do.
So you would have
tend to miss.
taken Wednesday off, or
No,
you'd take
no.
tomorrow
I'd
off.
take tomorrow off.
Well, yeah,
I would not
that's-
take the Thursday off.
Tomorrow, everybody's taking. There's going to be a stomach flu that goes around
I've
tomorrow.
got a scratchy throat right now.
Well, I'm
just
already
warning
off.
you.
You
I'm
look
already
like you
off.
have a scratchy throat.
You guys are very jealous of me because I'm already off tomorrow because tomorrow night I leave for 12 days.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm doing Christmas tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
With my whole family.
Are
my
you
mom.
treating tonight like Christmas Eve? Is Jack going to
You
open
know what
his
I'm
presents?
doing? You know what I'm doing tonight? Spinning salad night at Lowry's.
Oh, are you?
That
really?
I do
We
every
tried
year.
to get in there.
What is
That's
that?
So
You gotta make
funny.
you got to make reservations like 3
I
months
know.
in advance.
I described spinning salad.
Tell me what
night
that
at
is. I don't know what that is.
Lowry's.
All right, Lowry's
In Beverly
the prime
Hills.
rib in Beverly Hills, starting on right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Does a Christmas dinner that is spectacular.
Yep.
Basically, everybody gets dressed up. They bring a cart to your table.
They're wearing costumes and stuff.
They have
right?
carolers all dressed like they're from A Christmas Carol,
Okay.
singing songs, and they do this giant, flashy spinning salad at your table. Then they get the salad cart out of there, and they bring the prime rib cart in, and you pick exactly what you want, and you can get the Yorkshire pudding or the potato, whatever you want, and they just load
and
it
it's
up.
all really old-fashioned-y.
Yeah, and to get in, you can get in starting at 4:30. The first seating's at 4:30. We're going at 6:30. The last seating is at like 10, and you got to make reservations for next year, like next month.
No kidding.
Now,
How
have
do
you
I not
ever
know about
seen
that?
the spinning salad thing?
No.
You ever been to Five Crowns in Corona del Mar?
I have, yes.
Same thing.
Okay.
So
Same exact
isn't
thing.
it like
Same owner.
on a block of ice or something?
Yeah,
they bring
well-
it out and then they spin the salad
Yeah,
bowl around
they
and it
spin
mixes
with
it
giant
all up.
tongs, and they're
Oh,
throwing
it's like
stuff up in the
fantastic.
air. And
It's
I
fantastic.
feel like this is something I would
It's like,
enjoy.
it's like Benny
I'll
Hanna
take
for
some.
salad.
I'll take some videos tonight and send them to you.
Yeah.
You would
No.
enjoy it. More, your family would like it more than you.
You go there and you expect Tiny Tim to walk in. It really is.
Crutches and everything.
It really is very Dickens.
God
the whole
bless
thing.
us, everyone.
Yeah, no, it's really that's a great way to celebrate.
Yeah, so that's
Pretend Christmas
tonight.
Eve.
And then we'll come back and watch Wrap Presents and watch Love Actually for the 900th time.
Yep.
And then tomorrow morning we're doing Christmas. And then tomorrow night, nothing says Christmas like Hornets Lakers.
Yeah, boy.
And then straight to Dallas.
Can I raise the bet with Broncos Rams 2 4 and 10s?
Well, okay, you want to.
Yeah.
This is how bad it's become. The standard default with our radio station is if there's a Ram game and a Laker game at the exact same time, since the Rams only have 17 games
Right.
and the Lakers have 90,
right.
we put the Rams on 7:10. Trav,
I know.
You have hit rock bottom.
Oh, no, you're going to 11-10?
Lakers on 7-10
I know.
Sunday. You're going to 11-10.
no. Yes.
That's how bad this season has become.
The Rams are underdogs at home to a 4-10 team.
What's the line?
2.5.
2.5.
Which is also the over-under.
I would take
so true.
I would take the Rams with that if I had to bet it.
Yeah, we, in our little pick'ems that we do on Thursdays, I did take the Rams.
Oh, little Baker magic on Christmas
right,
Day.
Right,
Yeah.
So when I did the Rams pre and post, or excuse me, Lakers pre and post for a couple of years, we had 2 Christmas games the 2 years I did it, but they were both like 7:00 tips. They were late, so it didn't really.
Were they were probably home, right?
They were home. One was a Clipper home game, I want to say. At one
Okay.
point, I think they played the Clippers and the Mavs are the 2 teams I saw them play.
Yeah.
And it was late, and it was fun, and it was I got to spend the whole day with my family. It really didn't impact Christmas. To this, obviously, Rams game. It's in the middle of the day. I'm going to be up in Santa Barbara for Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, so I got to get down here to you'll be on the road, right?
Yeah.
What is being away from home from your family at Christmas? And I've never had to do this before. It's weird.
I've only been away twice, and both times we were able to come back like right after Christmas. This is leave on the night of the 23rd, come back on January 3rd. So we're basically out for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And I don't know. I'll tell you after it's over. We've never done it before. I was talking to Stu Lance last night. We've never had 2 back east trips in the same month like we have right now. We were back east. I was in D.C. and Philadelphia and everything, and now we're going back. We're going to Miami and Orlando and Charlotte and Atlanta.
At least you're going south, because up north there's like
the polar vortex,
the cyclone boom.
The game tonight.
We name all these things, right?
What's it? Jags Jets tonight, right?
Yes.
Is supposed to be a snow game. It's supposed to start going nuts today.
Snow games are kind of fun to look at.
They're fun to look at until you realize that nothing's actually
football's
happening.
not
The
actually
football's
very good,
terrible.
yeah.
Like once you get your 5 minutes of that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
In the snow, I have no interest.
Hey, you guys were talking earlier about records that'll never be broken.
Right.
Michael and I brought this up the other day on the air. I'm curious what you guys think. Which one of these records is more likely to be broken? All right, Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, or AC Green's 1,192 consecutive games played.
I thought you used different AC Green.
I think it's got to be the AC Green, right? Nobody's scoring 100.
Right.
Nobody's scoring 100.
It's easy 100 points.
Really?
I disagree.
I'm going 100 points too.
I'm
Clay,
going AC Green.
Clay once had 60 in 3 quarters.
It's 37-1, right?
Right.
But it's got to
if
be
some guy gets hot from 3, somebody like Steph, and gets unconscious, then I could see the 100 points. AC Green, I mean, a couple years ago, the guy who led the league in games played led it at 74. Like, the only person who never, ever misses games, no matter what, is Mikal Bridges in Phoenix. Has never missed a game in high school, college, or NBA.
No kidding.
And he's only in like his 3rd or 4th year.
Okay.
So he's going to play another 11 or 12 years without ever missing a game.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath on either one. I mean, the situation with the 100's got to be so unique. You got to score 100, and the game's got to be close. Because
enough.
Otherwise, you look bad.
All right.
Well, part of what made 81, for example, work is that the Lakers were behind for a lot of that game and needed to win.
Yes.
So, people don't feel like that was, for a long time, that was just a game
Okay,
they
how
were
about
going to
this for a
blow to
baseball,
a bad team.
for a baseball one, Trav? Ted Williams batting .406 or Pete Rose 44 straight hitting streak?
Rose at 44 or DiMaggio at 56.
Well, 56 with DiMaggio's
yeah,
record. Let's go DiMaggio.
Yeah,
Make it harder.
I think you're going to find here's somebody that I think could have broken it had he spent his entire career in Major League Baseball. Is a dude like Ichiro, right?
Yeah.
Where you have unbelievable skill as a hitter. You get 230 hits a year,
right?
And you can run, right? Like Trey Turner when he was with the Dodgers. He'd get an infield hit or 2 a week.
Yeah, right.
Rose got a lot of infield hits.
Rose got a lot of infield hits, too. I don't think it's going to be somebody like a Freddie Freeman or a Mookie Betts.
No.
Just,
I always thought Tony Gwynn might be able to do it.
Tony Gwynn came close to
388.
You got
388.
And then, you know what happened?
The strike.
Didn't he have a 388 and a 392, I think?
But
I want to
one
say
of those was a strike
394 was the strike year.
Okay.
George Brett hit 390 in a full season in 1980.
Right.
So he got really close. But you have to run really well for both of those streaks.
Yep.
I think the
All right, how about
2 months without getting a hit?
I also think scouting is too good now.
Well, they're going to get rid of the shift.
Yeah, get rid of the
They're going to
shift.
get
That's going to make a
that'll help.
difference.
It will
That'll
help,
help.
but also to
Bigger
the way
bases, clown-sized bases
Yeah,
are coming in.
yeah.
That's weird.
people pitch differently though than they used to.
Well, you
Like
don't
this-
get that third and fourth at bat off of some guy that's thrown 120
Right.
pitches.
And the other thing is you face a guy throwing 100, then a different guy throwing 100, then a different guy throwing 100 because everybody's going bullpen, 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 and you're facing the biggest, liveliest arms in there.
Michael got mad at me because I the year where Wilt averaged over 50 a game, almost 26 rebounds a night, 48 and a half minutes per game.
Damn.
Didn't win the MVP that year, by the way.
Really?
Wasn't enough.
Who got it?
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Part of what makes that possible, and he got mad at me, J.J. Redick's line is like, they're playing against plumbers and carpenters and all that other stuff. It's not that nobody else was good. Like Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double that year, and Elgin put up
it's that the 10th guy on the team is not very good.
That's what
Right.
it is. The
There's no
8th,
depth.
6th, 7th, 8th, 9th guy on an NBA roster now is light years better than they were in the 60s.
Except,
and it's the same way.
except if you're us.
So here,
the same way pitching.
Yeah.
here's
We're
what
the
I'll.
exception that proves the rule.
Yes.
Here's my last request for you guys because
Okay.
I am off tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I am off tomorrow, so Merry Christmas to all you guys.
Merry
Happy holidays,
Christmas,
all that. Enjoy. If Al is here tomorrow, I don't think he will be.
No.
But if he is here tomorrow, I need you to interrogate the witness.
Oh, no question.
Okay, you'll do that.
Yeah,
You
no,
got
I
that.
will.
He has to call in sick.
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yeah, no, he has no choice.
But now
to
he's
call in
off the
sick now.
hook, so it's not.
Yeah, but he's still going to
No,
have
no,
to
no.
deal with the fact that he tried
Partially.
to duck it.
Who the hell's doing your show? Is it like Taylor and Emily
I
doing the
believe
show?
it's
Best of Crane, I
the big
think, is-
CY is filling
Big
in for
CY,
me
okay.
tomorrow. Yes,
Got it.
I don't know. I mean, Brian, are you
Brian, have
available
you gotten
tomorrow?
the call?
I have not, but as we like to say, it's best of Crane.
Yes. Yes.
Mason and Ireland coming up next. We'll see